Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 7 of The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man.
I'm the good.
Every week.
It never sounds good. I'm Ryan. I've got water and enthusiasm, so let's get to it. Hi, I go by Youth Pastor Ryan. No, I'm not a real youth pastor. Yes, I look like one. It's unfortunate for everyone involved. Carry on.
I'm the Dan. I don't have anything. I have messy hair.
Yay! That's why we call you the Dan.
Yeah.
And hi, I'm Ben. I am the Florida Man. I live in Florida.
And as a man. Like that.
Well,
Oh. Wow, Ben's week weekend of life is going to be way more interesting than the rest of ours.
well, you know how the vaccine has some weird side effects, right?
Wow.
He went from an Audi to an inning.
Oh, man. If you don't know if this is your first week tuning into The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man, we are Ryan, Dan, and Ben, and this is a weekly podcast where we talk about stuff. Man, I feel like
we tell crazy stories because our lives have all been insane. You know, I mean, it's like comedy chose us, not the other way around.
Yeah, we are stand-up comedians that got big on TikTok during the quarantine, and we decided to start a podcast because we need more attention. So,
we do.
Without further ado, here are our opinions on things. Ryan, do you have any shows coming up?
I do. Also, I'm just taking a nasal spray right now because I got allergies and I don't want to sound nasally during this. But I realized for those watching on YouTube, they're like, that's a crazy person right there. Yeah, I do. Upcoming shows. I do virtual shows at least once a month through Flappers. I'm also going to be looking at booking some other stuff. Actually, might be going down to Austin to try that out a little bit. So that might be fun.
Okay.
Mid-May, I'm going to see your narrator, and that'll be fun, but that'll be more digital stuff. And in November, I've got a show at the DC Comedy Loft, which I'm stoked to do because I love DC. So yeah, that's what I got planned at the moment.
Righteous.
Oh, and colleges. I perform at a lot of colleges, but you have to go to college to do it. So yeah, there's a lot. I'm coming back to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania hires me a lot, and I don't know why, but I'm very thankful. So it's just like cool.
Well, the Virginville, Pennsylvania is like, we have to hit the mark.
Right. They looked at my face and were like, that's the face.
The one.
I really do think that's why, like, parents love me when I meet them. Like, if I'm dating someone, I meet their parents, they all love me because they're like, that's the face of he's not going to touch my daughter. Like, I'm acutely aware.
And
Dan?
there you go.
Oh, what about you?
These are the things that we talk about before the podcast.
I thought you meant during our real segments, not these segments, but yeah.
No, I don't have any shows coming up, so check me out at all the open mics in Utah. Boom.
Ooh.
Yay! I
better.
have some stuff coming up, but like Dan, I'm mostly just doing open mics right now. If you're in or near the Orlando area and you want to see open mic comedy, you don't, but like come out and see it anyway. We need your support. You can check out orlandocomedy.com. Or if you live in any of these cities, I have shows coming up. May 27th, I'll be in Los Angeles at the Violet Cactus. June 6th, I'll be in Wesley Chapel, Florida at the new Side Splitters. June 16th, Daytona Beach, Florida at the Hilton Garden Inn, Daytona Beach Oceanfront. July 23rd, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the True by Hilton Atlanta Galleria Ballpark.
Ben, by the time you actually book that show, I'm going to contact every True Hilton just so that they book you for another show so far down the line and you just have to say it.
Ryan, I will beat you. Like, I'll come to your house when I'm visiting in May, and I'm going to... August 13th, I'll be in Tallahassee, Florida at the Crumb Box Beer Garden. And I think it's already sold out, but they might be adding more seats as we get closer to it. And then November 12th through the 14th, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Anime Con inside the Marriott North Hotel. Ugh. That's that.
That is
so
that.
Moving on. Anything interesting happened to you this week, Ryan?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but like I got 2 bachelor's degrees. I got one in business with a concentration in marketing. I got one in international relations with a concentration in homeland in international relations. Sorry,
you got
concentration in counterterror. No, I've had them. But here's the thing. I also have a master's degree with an MBA with a concentration in homeland security. And this week there was a car that seemed really suspicious outside my apartment, and I was like, this car is definitely stolen. So I called the police, and they were like, "Can you read off the license plate?" And I was like, "Here's the license plate." And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right. That is stolen." I was like, "Yay!" So I found a stolen car.
I went to college for a reason.
Right? My parents thought I'd never use my degrees, but I did.
You're the best narc in all of LA. I'm so proud of you, Ryan.
This is obviously the face of a snitch, okay? I understand. Like,
I found the car.
I do, but I found the car, and it felt good, and we returned it to the people, and that was nice.
What would Jesus do, Ryan? You would find the guy that stole the car and try to turn his life around by showing him love.
Yeah, he left the car, though, so I couldn't find him. So also, someone tried to sell drugs. It's just been a really, really crime-filled week for me. Someone tried to sell drugs during my virtual comedy show for a college that I won't name. Like, that's a real thing.
Name the college, Ryan.
I shouldn't. And I won't, because here's the thing. Like, I get in the virtual room, and all of a sudden this dude comes in. He's like 20 minutes late. So he's like 20 minutes into my like hour set. And the dude just comes in and goes, like, does it sound robotic to anybody else? Like, this dude looks out of his freaking gourd. And everyone else in the room's like, no. And he's like, oh. And he goes, and then they mute him. And then he unmutes himself. Yeah, as you should, because he's just like,
what a fun feature that is. The ability to unmute yourself when the person who's hosting the thing has muted you. I mean, literally nobody thought through that.
Right. Well, that's like, can you imagine if that was how like prisons worked, where it's just like, you know what? I'm going to take myself out. Like, that's pretty much what that is. It's like
I know
I did a thing.
I know the guard has closed the door, but there is a handle on the inside.
But I have a key. Like, this is just. But yeah, so this dude unmutes himself, and then it's just like, please don't mute me. And it's like, well, you're kind of a pretentious,
please don't speak.
Yeah, please don't speak words. And so then he goes, it's kind of loud. My grandmother is asleep on the couch. How do I turn it down on a Linux? And I'm sitting there like, I just go, is this better? And he just goes, yeah. And I go, you realize I can't talk like that for the rest of the show. And he's not putting
but you
things
can.
together.
He's like, I don't know. You just did it. So why can't you keep doing it just for me?
Why can't this be a forever thing for what's going on?
I like how he came to a virtual comedy show and was like, my grandma is sleeping.
Right? Like, it's like, I didn't break into his house and start doing this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is not.
Yeah.
That's usually how comedy does work, though. We just break into places of business and start telling jokes to a bunch of people that we're not expecting jokes to be told.
Ben actually just summarized the open mic circuit.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and at that point, he's like, How do I turn the volume down on a Linux? And I'm just like, dude, bottom right. And that's literally every computer. It's the bottom right. It's your soundboard. And he's like, thank you. And then I just see in chat, it pops up, yo, does anybody want to buy Adderall? Which is a controlled substance. You're not allowed to do that. And then he's like, 20
But it
milligrams.
is fun. I've done it. I get so much work done. It's like I have ADHD and I can't focus without it.
Almost hypothetically, like that's a very real thing for Ben. What at this point, I'm just like, I go, dude, are you trying to sell drugs during my show? And he goes, yeah, like with enthusiasm.
Well,
like,
Also, the Adderall does explain his erratic behavior. I feel like that is key in what he was doing.
If you're doing it wrong, maybe.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course. Well, you're prescribed, Ben. He's selling it on the internet. I think we know where he's at.
well, my favorite thing is at this point.
We don't know where he's at, but Ryan can tell us.
I probably can't. Yeah, he gets kicked from the show, and then he comes back in using a different name.
Did he get kicked for trying to sell drugs or for being
Trying to sell drugs?
Okay, not for being loud at an online comedy show. He's fine for that, but the drugs is too far.
Yeah, you're not allowed to sell
the
drugs
Adderall,
during this comedy show.
By the way, the medicine. He's selling medicine.
I mean, he is, but illegally, like granted, like you could sell morphine, and that's medicine. But I don't know if we should buy that.
Can you sell morphine?
I mean, not legally.
Okay.
Yeah, we can definitely sell morphine.
I can find somebody in Florida. I can find
Florida,
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben, you can find someone who would sell you anything.
Ben's like,
You know the black market?
I have all the options.
You know the
But you
black
can walk
market?
into a
It's here.
doctor. Yeah, it's the whole thing. You can walk into a doctor in Florida and be like, I've got a little bit of like a sore arm. And they'd be like, would you like 800 milligrams of morphine? And you'd be like, yeah.
You think I'd have to lie? It's just like, I
That's what I was
want
gonna
morphine.
say. I don't think he has to say he has a sore arm. He's just like, I need the morphine.
Can I have morphine? And he's like, dude, I don't blame you. This stuff is great.
Stuff is fantastic. I'm high right now. Like, just like. But yeah, the dude busts back in under a different name, and then he literally looks at a guy in the chat. He was like, who apparently I guess had been private messengers, like, hey Dwayne, by the way, if you want it, just PM me. And then they kicked him again, and I was like, I can't wait for comedy to be live again so I can real life heckle people back.
Did they kick the other guy too?
No, they didn't. The drug purchaser was fine, but the drug dealer was also, he just totally outed that guy as he came in. He's like, hey man, it was you specifically. But also, like, did this guy come to a comedy show exclusively to sell drugs? Like, what was?
Yes.
Ryan, I don't know if you've ever been to a comedy show, but that is a great place to find and sell drugs.
See, but I never done drugs, so I'm just not, I don't know. I realized, someone told me recently, I was like, this is the first time someone's ever tried to sell drugs during my show. And then someone looked at me and was, that you know of.
Yeah.
And that's very real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know full well that would not have been the first time someone tried to sell drugs during a comedy show that I was at.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. Dan,
would it have been the first time you did they sold us drugs at a virtual show, though?
Absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, Dan, what about you? What happened in your week in the life?
First of all, my comedy special got released on YouTube.
Yay!
Check it out at Dry Bar Comedy. The second thing is that I got my vaccine.
Yay!
And then I got sick and went on a hike, guys.
That's a bad combination.
Here's some advice.
Okay, I'm sorry. Were there other steps that happened that we should know about before this? Or is that just like, yeah, that's okay?
No, that we just basically, what ended up happening is I got sick after the vaccine and I started like healing a little bit and I was like, I should go on a hike. I should get out in the sun. I should get some vitamin D.
Absolutely.
Word of advice, when you have a vaccine for a sickness that affects your lungs and breathing, don't go I don't know, multiple mile hike up a mountain because you will not be able to breathe.
Just do 1 mile up the mountain. That's fine. But multiple miles?
But then
no.
When I say I was like lying down, I laid down like 3 different times. I was like,
I'm just, what is that Kardashian meme? You're doing great, sweetie.
Sweetie, yeah.
But yeah, everyone else was like taking in the view. They were like, look how beautiful it is. I was like on the side of the like cliff edge, like, yeah, this is great.
I love this so much.
Unless you're on the cliff's edge, like, do I just end this blight that is my life right now? Or do I?
That's what you get for taking the Johnson & Johnson, Dan.
I took Pfizer. I'm a Pfizer baby.
Okay.
I'm Pfizer.
All right. Okay.
I'm a Pfizer baby. Ben, what is your week in the life, Ben?
So 2 things happened this week that are worth note, right? So this was last night. I went out to an open mic in Orlando, and we were just chilling on like the outdoor patio, and it's like on like one of the major roads in downtown Orlando that has all the through traffic, and we're sitting there talking, and then we hear a big boom. And my friend and I stand up and look towards the road to see what's going on. And as we look, there's just an Escalade throwing sparks, zooming down this road. And I mean, the axle had fallen off. So it's just front corner on the pavement, just full speed ahead down the road. And we were like, what the? And it took many seconds to fully process what was going on. But
Dangers of Adderall.
Yeah,
that was 120 milligrams. I'll tell you that.
It had worn off. It had worn off by that point. But like you hear a boom, you stand up, you turn around, and you just see an Escalade missing a wheel, zooming down the road, shooting sparks everywhere, and like it takes a few seconds for you to be like, right, I know what's happening here.
Wait, did it stop? Like, what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
like,
stopped
what-
because of physics, but not because the guy wanted to. So
Was he running from anything? Like, what?
Like-
the police at this point, because we got off and we turned and we looked, and he had like smashed in the side of a parked car because it was all street parking. So he smashed in the side of a parked car, which made his front right wheel fall off, and the axle fell down after that. And then he was just zooming. He couldn't steer too well. And he was drunk, so he didn't want to stop. He just kept going, and just like everything was catching on fire. The whole street smelled like burned rubber and stuff. And the car comes to a stop, and he gets out, and he just starts running. He left his entire car in the road, and he just started running. And there was a guy that found me like afterwards. He's like, "Yeah, I saw him running. He was a short, fat, drunk man. He's not getting far."
Also, like, his car is registered to him. So, like, that's not an escape.
And everyone else was like,
man.
"But we have his car."
Short, fat, drunk man is a regular occurrence, though, in Florida. is it not?
Absolutely
Okay,
it is.
Just wanted to make sure.
But not like in the Olympics. So he's not getting far.
I'd pay to watch that so much more
Short,
than
fat,
the
drunk
Olympics.
Olympics.
Yeah, I want to see short fat guys
please.
getting hammered
Please.
going.
Oh
my gosh,
that would
it'd be
fun.
incredible.
That would
Right?
Be, I would-
We
I
should
would-
start that.
The
That
100-meter
be...
dash it actually comes in like 8 different like attempts, essentially. Most of them end up like Dan after the vaccine, just like 20 meters in, they lay down. There's a nap and a steak.
I
And the
say we
next
test.
20.
I say
Right?
we test this theory. I say we get drunk and we have a race, 100-meter dash.
Well, I don't drink, but I
Ben's
will.
wonderful story in high school.
I don't drink, but I will watch.
Actually, Ben, I'd almost rather have you commentate this one.
Absolutely.
Like, that would be.
We'll get
Oh
Beer
my
Bong
gosh.
John back.
A whole bunch of our TikTok friends. Get them super drunk. We'll get beer bonging everybody.
Absolutely.
And then it will be...
You have to start every race with a beer bong.
Dude, that'd be wild.
And it just gets longer and longer.
Absolutely.
100.
Dude, I had never hit a beer bong until Beer Bong John lived with me, which I feel like is the most poetic way to begin your beer bonging career is with Beer Bong John. And oh my gosh, I'll tell you what, I can't burp, and because of that, it's just the worst because like you just can't clear it, and man, that hits you all sorts of wrong.
You can't burp medically, or just like you think it's gross?
No, I medically can't burp. I don't. That's why I don't drink beer.
What?
I drink. Yeah, that's why I drink liquor. Is because like. This,
Oh.
Wait, let me see if I can go. That's why
I drink liquor 'cause I'm
tequila.
gay, but-
Like that's.
That's the only reason I drink liquor. Beer is just... It's not for me. It's not.
It's kind of look. I don't
Doesn't
want
fit my
to.
persona. I'm not...
It's too many calories, honestly.
Yeah, too manly for me.
Oh yeah, and then today actually, I got my first dose of the Pfizer vaccine.
Yay!
Yeah, so-
Don't go hiking, Ben.
Yeah,
go
Dan,
hiking.
don't go hiking in Florida. Don't go up our many mountains and hills.
Fine, don't go getting drunk after crashing an Escalade.
Okay.
No, that's more
I'll do
accurate.
that. Yeah, I don't have an Escalade, so
Ooh, guys, fun fact: because you're mentioning hills and things like that, so it's believe it or not, in 4 days of recording this, it's going to be my birthday, and
Yay!
How did you know?
Birthday.
what? How do I know?
Yeah, were you there?
You know what? That's a good point. I don't know. But I was a C-section, so I actually know the time. So I was a very scientific birth because I was upside down. Because you
Okay,
know,
Powerpuff Girl.
yeah. Wait,
Ryan
Sugar
was built
Spice,
by
Perfect little boy.
sugar, spice, and everything youth pastor like.
oh man, they just mix it. All of a sudden, you just see him dropping like a pocket Bible in there. Like this will work. This is how he's gonna. But yeah, I really want to go to the dunes and I want to race things on the dunes. I really want to ramp things off dunes. That's what I want to do for my birthday.
Oh,
And I don't know.
Yay.
Okay.
I don't know how
You're
to
just
get a hold
putting
of
it
that.
out in the universe right now.
Pretty much so. I think my buddy, actually related, my other buddy Daniel and I are probably gonna go and grab some people and be like dune jumping. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'll go dune jumping with you.
Dude, it'd be awesome.
We got dunes in Florida.
You do?
We have
Fly to
like
Florida and get
hundreds
the
of miles of coastline.
Yeah, but okay, that's fair. But I mean like desert dunes, like in the middle of nowhere, and you just
Right, yeah, because those are different sand.
It is, yeah. Here's the thing: if I crash in the desert, I can't hit the ocean. You know what I mean? Which is something that I probably.
That's not a bad thing, right? Yeah, would you rather full
I'd much
speed
rather hit ground.
than water?
I can't drown on the sand. You know what I mean?
Absolutely can. You're not trying hard enough. I just don't think they call it drowning at that point. They just call it suffocation. No breathing.
Yeah.
Don't
Exactly.
Is that okay?
I won't finish the song, but yeah.
I'm not going to. That is Week in the Life, which brings us to my favorite part of the show. Story time! Yay! And we're gonna randomly pick someone to start. Dan.
Yay! We did not plan that at all. My wonderful story comes from when I discovered, or rather, well, it isn't really discovered. I discovered the extent to which my lactose intolerance goes.
Oh, this is gonna be a gross one.
Quick question. Have you guys ever been drunk in your lives?
No.
No.
I've never had an
That
alcohol.
asks my second question. Have you ever gotten drunk off of milk? I have. I have definitely
Excuse
been
me?
drunk. Yes.
Say that again, but slowly.
I got drunk off of milk. Or at
How?
least it felt that way.
Is this like a country song, but instead of drunk on you, it's drunk on milk?
Yeah, is this the Kids Bop version of a country song? Like that
All I'm gonna say is that
This is
was very
Chumbawamba's
moment
tub
at that time,
thumping,
so
but it's
this is as close as I could get to drunkenness. Was milk
Okay.
drunk.
Yeah, this is Chumbawamba's tub thumping, but it's called utter thumping. I had a milk drink. I had a milk drink. I had another milk drink. I had a milk drink. I sang the songs that remind me of my mother's times. I sang the songs that remind me of my father's times. Oh, Dan Bam Bam. Dan Bam Bam.
I just want the rest of the show to be you. Great. Anyway, so preface, I was very poor. Very, very poor at the time. Did not have a job. I was kind of transitioning between jobs. And luckily I had free rent because I won a dance competition at a basketball game.
I'm
Another
sorry.
story.
Yeah.
What? You can't just skip over the most interesting thing you just said. How do those two things go together? Were you playing at the basketball court? What happened?
You won. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that I heard this correctly. You said, and I quote, I won a dance competition at a
Basketball
basketball.
game.
Okay, sure.
I was the halftime show.
That's where most dance competitions take place, at basketball shows. Okay,
Yeah.
and you did this because you were like, I'm in between jobs. Let me try and win something.
Let me go dance to this basketball game. Yeah.
I'm allergic to milk and I have no job. I gotta get a win. So let me. Let me go compete in this dance competition real quick.
Yeah, basically what happened is a random dorm at our college, or like, I guess, apartment building, had this little competition where they were like, come send us a video of you dancing and we'll put you in a halftime show.
I would have said no. I was like, this is a lie. You're going to make fun of people.
Well, it was also from the shadiest apartment building in all of Provo, Utah. So it has the name Glenwood, and its nickname is Glenhood, which remember that it's coming from mostly white people. So they probably don't know the full extent.
The shadiest apartment in Utah is probably pretty nice.
That's nicer than my nice apartment in LA. Like that's just. Remember, I do want to say this. Off here.
I should just also tell you guys this. It was the least. Well, they say it's shady. There was a prostitution ring, but not a regular prostitution ring. When I was living there, they were selling makeout sessions for $50.
Oh, that's beautiful.
A piece. Yeah,
that is the one, because they're just like,
that's the kind of prostitution we've got going on.
Yeah, they're like, we know what state this is. We know what goes on. Sex off the table. Kissing Now that is scandalous.
You want to play tonsil hockey?
The
50
law of
bucks.
chastity will be kept.
We got rich white Mormons. How do we take their money? You want to kiss a woman? You want to
What
kiss?
year is this? 1782? Like, how is that?
Just remember, in Utah,
$50 for a kiss.
in Utah, a prostitute never kisses and tells.
Oh gosh. Oh, Glenwood. I miss it. Anyway, so had free rent. So I was like, okay, at least I've got like a place to live, but I need food. And so I called my sister and I was like, hey, like, do you have any like extra food on the side? I really need some stuff. And she was like, yeah, I have my stuff from my food stamps. Our family was not doing well.
Right.
She's like, I have extra milk. So she gave me a whole bunch of extra
You
cereal
asked
that
for
she had.
food, and she was like, "I've got milk." Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I was like, I'm lactose intolerant, but
I feel like
have
your
a lot
family.
of.
Your family's
Where?
also not doing well in like the brain department at this point either. 'Cause you're like, yeah, we're real poor, and my sister thinks milk is food, so I'm not really sure what's
I'm
going
starting
on.
to see a connection between these two things like that. No. Okay, wait, hold on. You knew you were like you were Ryan just had a stroke. Brought to you by been
Yes.
stuck inside for too long. I
Also
wanted to make the
brought
joke
to you by
lactose
tequila.
intolerance. I've taken no pulls during this podcast.
Wait, what were you saying, Ryan?
Wait, so hold on. You knew you were lactose intolerant, but you were like, milk, I'll do it. I'll hit it.
Well,
he was really
the logic
hungry.
was the logic was this. I was waiting for a paycheck. I was 2 days away from it. And I knew that the money was coming. So I was like, okay, I have 2 days. I am fine eating cereal with milk. I'll just take a whole bunch of lactose pills.
Yeah,
That'll be
usually you
fine.
eat
Gotcha,
cereal
okay.
with water. I don't know what you were doing before. Why do you own cereal?
No, my sister gave me cereal too. She gave me like all of her random food.
Right,
on
no,
the
because
side.
she's just a super caring sister. She's
Sister.
like,
Yeah, she
you know,
cares about it. Yeah.
Dan, how much I love you. I know you have lactose intolerance. So here's some cereal and milk.
I'm also
Yes.
lactose intolerant, but I just feel like you're more and you need this. So like it almost feels like kind of a like prison torture experiment to be like
She's
how
like,
bad you want it.
Let's see how far this can go.
Your sister is very much like early game Thanos. She's like, there's just not enough resources and there's too many people. So if I just kill one of them,
Take him out.
Yeah.
He keeps taking all my cereal and milk. Let's do it.
how could
that
I
was the
kill
weird
my
part.
brother without anyone suspecting anything? Milk.
Well, I also need to tell you that it was not whole milk. Because whole milk does not affect me nearly as badly as 1% milk. 1% milk
Do you know
is literally
why?
torturous. I have no idea why. Absolutely no idea why. All I know is that every time I've drunken 1% milk, I have become it's insane. Anyway,
Which feels like it should have been one time, and that's it.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you're
a
saying
risk
it like
taker.
it was
I'm a risk taker.
No,
I
Dan,
dance
like,
in halftime shows of basketball.
no, Dan, I
basketball games.
understand
No,
being a risk taker because I live in Florida every day of my life. But like, there's a difference between being a risk taker and doing a thing you know will hurt you with no other positive benefits.
Well, yes, I understand that. The idea was that it wasn't going to hurt me. And to be fair, I didn't actually generally like drink 1% milk. I'd never like really, I knew that it was like a danger, but I was like, if I just take a whole bunch of pills, it'll be fine. Right? Like that was
Sure,
like
yeah.
the
That's
logic.
never been
making-
the solution to anything in life. Let me just take a ton of pills. That'll solve my
Yeah.
problems.
Dan was like, you know what they say about 3 lefts? They make a right, and 2 wrongs also do. How many times?
It was a mess.
How many times have you
Trust
gotten?
me, it's gonna get messy. It's
How
gonna
many
get
times have you
very
gotten
messy.
back with an ex, Dan? Just wait. This has nothing to do with anything else that we're talking about at
I've
all.
only
Just
been
like
dating for a year, but so far, one.
hey man, treat your exes the opposite of how you treat 1% milk. That's all I'm saying. Like, learn from your mistakes, Dan.
We'll do.
It took you a second.
Okay,
there,
anyway,
Ryan.
what happened?
So she gave me this 1% milk and cereal, and I start eating it. I'm like, dope, cool, whatever. Then it was what was the time? It was like 11 o'clock at night, right?
Sure.
I had a bowl of cereal. I was like, I'll be fine. This is good. Suddenly, I felt it in my
Suddenly I
stomach.
see.
The churning. And you always know it's going to be churning. I always knew, like, I was like, I've had this before. You know, you eat like a piece of cheese or like you have something. Sometimes the pills just don't work. So
yeah,
I've
had this before. Whenever I eat the things that I know I shouldn't eat, my stomach does every time. It's like
I was a poor college student. I had no. Well, I
it's
had
almost
everything.
like I'm allergic to this stuff.
Anyway, so now I'm like this is bad. Oh, I lie. It was not 11 o'clock. This was like at 2 a.m. That's right.
Oh,
2 o'clock in the
I was
morning.
about to say the time clearly doesn't matter here, but now that it's at 2 a.m, it's way worse.
It trust me, it does.
It is.
It's way worse.
So, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? Out of nowhere, I start like sweating.
Absolutely.
Like, sweating. I'm bleeding. I'm like pulling my.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Bleeding from
where?
From I think you know where. I am bleeding. So not like hectically. I want to also clarify.
That, by the way, is the proper medical term for a lot of blood. It's just a hectic amount of blood.
I was going to say hemorrhage, but I was like, that's very graphic. I was not hemorrhaging. I was basically just like, it was just, there was definitely blood.
It was a super normal amount of blood.
From your
in
butt.
your stool, from your butt. Anyway, so at this point, I'm like worried, right? Obviously. So I call my sister and I'm like, you need to come and get me. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Everyone's asleep. I was like,
what is she going to do?
I was like, I need to go to the hospital.
You're like, I'm stuck on the toilet and I need help. Bring something. Something. I don't know, a plunger and hope.
I keep taking like lactose pills at this point. I'm like, I need to like try and get my stomach sorted out. So I keep doing this, but it just keeps coming and coming and coming, right? At this point, now I've soaked in the bathtub, which is what they recommend you to do. You have to soak in like a cold bathtub. The internet.
I feel like they should also recommend not eating dairy when you're lactose intolerant. Did you try that step first? I didn't.
No. Dang it. Missed my chance.
Back to the tub with you.
I keep trying to like eat these lactose pills. I'm soaking bathtubs. I keep trying to I'm like, there has to be some sort of cream or everything. I start researching and they're like, you have to get hemorrhoid cream.
No, cream was the problem. Cream was the issue.
Yeah. No more cream, Dan.
I couldn't resist. Too much of a softball. Carry on.
Also, why did you think cream would... What cream could you rub on your body to end this?
Hemorrhoid cream. Is what I researched and found. I found hemorrhoid cream. And I was like, dang it, the first pharmacy only opens up at 8. So I was like, I have to make it till 8 o'clock in the morning so that I can get like hemorrhoid cream. So now I'm just like trying to like, I don't know. I'm trudging at this point. I'm trudging through it all. I don't like dizzy.
That phrasing.
I'm dizzy. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm on my bedroom floor, just like in pain, waiting, because it comes in waves. That's another thing that you need to know about lactose intolerance. It comes in waves. And so I'm waiting just for the next wave. At this point, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm an hour away.
He's playing Call of Duty Zombies with just lactose. Just like, I got through that wave. Now it's the easy wave. Got to rebuild these windows really quick.
Round 11 and my butt's a wonder weapon. Like,
I still haven't found the mystery box, but
I need to tell you guys this. My anus was swollen shut.
Did you need to tell us that? Did you need to tell us that?
It was that bad. That bad. So now
I already thought it was pretty bad, Dan. You didn't need to describe that. When you started with, I need to tell you this, I was like, oh yeah, there's a thing I probably need to know. Nope. Didn't need to know that. Nobody did. Could have lived my whole life without knowing that knowledge.
Well, enjoy that visual. That's what I'm saying.
I have it in my head and it's killing me right now. That's why I'm quieter. So I'm just like,
Anyway, so now I can't, I'm just like, I just got to make it one more hour, right? At this point, I'm like, it's almost done. Like, we're finished. There hasn't been a wave for at least like a couple of hours at this point. So it's like, okay, get through. A wave hits at 7 a.m. And I'm like, okay,
an hour away.
One more time. I sit on the toilet.
You sounded like a pregnant woman on the delivery table. Just one more push.
I felt like it. I
thought he was singing like that old song that was always played at bowling alleys. One more time. Gotta
Daft Punking it up.
celebrate. It's Daft Punk. Yeah, exactly.
So now I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm like, okay, one more. But again, I'm super dizzy. I'm so dizzy that I black out into the bathtub.
Which was full of cold water. Because
No. I drained
not
it
anymore.
out.
You
Not
drained
anymore. I drained that out. Yeah.
Oh,
I
thank
actually
God.
pulled out. I actually
I
pulled
guess,
out the
yeah,
drain
drown
because
would
I
be
was
bad.
dizzy. I was like just before blacking out. I pulled the drain out because I was like, I need to make sure that I do not like fall in a full bathtub. So I pull it out, chill, black out, pass out. At this point, my roommates hear the noise, and my roommate is like, Daniel,
No.
are you okay?
No. They did not discover you this
Are
way,
you
Dan.
opens the door.
Oh no!
Full display. I am bent over the bathtub, blacked out. He gets to see the swollen anus.
Oh no!
And
I knew you were gonna
says-
say it, but I was hoping you wouldn't.
Oh my
And,
god.
he wakes me up, and I'm like,
Who do I feel worse for?
Oh, definitely the roommate. Like, no question. Like, I absolutely like. Here's the thing. Like, Dan made a choice that unfortunately led to this. His roommate,
Was
I
just a
guess,
good
chose to
person?
live with him. It was like, better go check on my roommate who sounds like he's in
oh,
pain.
my friend.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
And then sees his swollen brown eye as he just.
Oh.
Anyway, he wakes me up. I obviously come to, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, and obviously not wanting to build concern, but definitely waking up from a blackout.
Yeah, no,
was
you
like,
wouldn't want
I'm
any to
fine.
be. You wouldn't
I'm
want
good.
anybody to be concerned seeing that at 7 a.m.
How
No.
can he possibly be concerned?
Oh yeah, you gotta calm him down. Like, it's okay. I'm
It's
just in
fine.
a lot of pain.
Well, I also just couldn't afford the ambulance bill, so I was like, "Oh, okay." Anyway, he offers to give me a ride to the pharmacy. I say no, and instead decide to walk to the pharmacy for the hemorrhoid cream. Do that, and yeah, that's my whole story.
Why did you
time.
say no?
Actually, hold on. I'm going to defend that. I'm going to defend that because if you had been like that, all of a sudden you're just like, well, I'm going to destroy his car. And you don't want to do that. That's rude to a friend. Like, I don't want to. Like,
I don't know
if
if that was the
blowing
logic,
up-
but okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we'll
just
go with
me?
that.
I
I just was like, I don't want to inconvenience people with my poo stories. And so, yeah, basically, I just
don't
decided
want to be
walk.
an inconvenience, but I'm kind of dying.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
me.
I can
That's my
figure it out.
African sensibilities. I don't want to inconvenience people,
I
but
don't want to be a bother. You know, like that's.
but I got the hemorrhoid cream, and all is well. I don't drink any sort of dairy at this point. I know what affects me, and I haven't had one of those in a year.
Any what? One of what?
Any blackouts? Any blackouts?
Oh,
yeah,
that-
I
yeah,
don't drink
that's-
milk anymore.
that's great. It's almost like this is a thing that you already knew about, and you're like, yeah, but I'll be fine. And then you
I'll
weren't.
be fine. When I got TikTok famous and started making genuine money, I was like, oh, I can afford to not do this anymore. So that became
That's really
like
what it
the
gets down
option.
to.
I can afford
Uh,
to not be
do
just
that.
terrible to my body constantly.
Anyway, that's the bad bathroom story. Ben, do you
Ben,
have,
don't
oh,
you? I know you've got a bad bathroom story because
Yeah.
you hinted at it,
I
and I
mentioned it
want to
last
know
week.
it.
Yeah, so mine's not nearly as graphic as Dan's. But it is pretty bad. Worst deuce of my life. And I don't the deuce itself is not the problem here. It's everything else that was happening around it. This happened a few years ago when I was still in the Army Reserve, and it was during like our month-long training exercise during the summer, and we decided to go. They forced us to go out to Fort Irwin, California, and Fort Irwin is in the Mojave Desert. And so our training exercise is basically just like, this is gonna be what it's like if you ever go overseas to Afghanistan, and you just
Is that
go.
the pronunciation there?
That's my pronunciation.
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. There's an H there for a reason. And
Yeah.
So basically, they just send you out into the desert for a month, and for 2 weeks in the middle of it, you don't get barracks or anything. You just have like a tent in the desert, and every 2 days for those 2 weeks, you have to pick up the entire camp, and then drive somewhere else in the desert, and then set up the camp again.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
it's not fun. And I was a truck driver for the army, so I spent.
Yeah, I put that together.
Yeah,
that it wasn't fun.
I
In
spent
the
like
Mojave Desert.
I spent every day driving. I would drive for like probably I think 12 hours was like the average work day that I had. So I'd wake up, eat breakfast, whatever, brush my teeth while looking at scorpions and stuff. One day we woke up and there was so the way our tents were, we had tent cots individually. So imagine a cot that had like an awning over it, and that's where you would sleep individually, and you would put a group of them together and then cover it with desert camo netting.
Sounds luxurious. Oh.
Absolutely, yeah, 5-star accommodations. The Air Force would be jealous, but basically there was like 6 or 7 of us inside like the big camo netting, and one day we woke up and my buddy is terrified of spiders, and he woke up and there's a tarantula just on like the desert ground right outside of his tent cot, and he lost his mind, and he took his rifle and he just started swinging at this tarantula, and like Tiger Woods golf shotted it out of the tent, and I was like, don't hurt Jerry.
What end was he swinging at it?
The butt, the shoulder.
So wait, so he has the end of his rifle pointed at himself.
Absolutely.
Gosh, that's just the worst but funniest gun safety.
He had to protect himself from the spider, Ryan.
Of course, yeah. Well, he's got a gun.
It wasn't loaded, I think. Look, he gets the spider out. That was just funny. We spend hours driving, so I'm never at the camp. I just go there to sleep. I wake up. I get back on the mission the next day.
Question: why are you driving? So are you just driving just to like practice driving?
So it's a little bit of practice driving. It's also like, when I say truck driver, I mean literally everything that moves from one place to another has to go by me.
You have all the authority.
The entire camp is transported by me and like the other guys in my unit. Food, water, every piece of supplies. We even transport vehicles that have tires.
Hey,
yeah. And
is anyone gonna tell him? Or are we just gonna... Okay, never mind. No, carry on.
We do
United States Army, not wasting a penny.
We do daily missions where we run out and we pick up food somewhere, and then we deliver it to the campsites, and then we come back.
I know it's like official food, but I'm just picturing like a crazy run to like El Pollo Loco. That's just like, we need a lot. Anybody need everything.
We just pull up the Taco Bell. And he's like, yeah, we actually need 400 quesalupas. Can we get 3 of those without the cheese? We're going to need 328 cheesy gordita crunches, 3 of them without chicken. We're going to, and just keeps going. How many churros can you make right
Taco
now?
Bell in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Though,
Absolutely,
right?
there
Like
would be.
you would just be like, is that a Taco
And
Bell?
we'd all be like, that makes sense.
Can you tell us your order now? Honestly, I'm just gonna fax it into you. It's gonna save us time. Like,
There was a Burger King.
really?
What?
Yeah, the only fast food restaurant on Fort Irwin is a Burger King.
Oh wow.
So yeah, there is a Burger
Yeah,
King
well,
in the Mojave Desert, technically.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
And it's not good, but
What were you expecting? What were you?
Burger King.
I
The
don't
best
know.
Burger King.
I don't know,
period.
man. But
I will say they're long chicken sandwiches, which I know is not the correct term.
That's part of the torture. The torture
It's
is
good.
the Burger King. They're like, we're gonna give you fast food, but it's the worst kind of fast food.
no, it's not that Burger King itself is that bad, but the Burger King in the desert is.
Dude, I love their original chicken sandwiches. I don't understand why chicken's long like that, but I like it. And it's like
They had the
and I don't
chicken
think-
fries when I was in middle school, long skinny chicken.
Yeah. Oh.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever. Well, I've eaten at Burger King a couple times, but yeah, haven't really eaten there, so maybe I should explore their menu.
If you're willing to drink 1% milk and you're not willing to eat Burger King, like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is it's not a fair trade that you got going on right there.
So that was just kind of like setting the scene. It's in the middle of the summer. It's like in late July or August. So it's in the middle of the summer in the Mojave Desert.
Toasty.
And we're just constantly running. And we have to wear our full uniform. So long sleeves, long pants, boots, hat. Yeah, it's not comfortable. So the only time that I ever got to relax was at night after I finished my mission. If we finished it in time, I would get back to the camp like right as the sun was starting to set, and then it would get a little bit cooler. And that's also the only time that I had to like use the bathroom. We would all just keep bottles in our car, in our trucks, so that when we're driving, we don't have time to pull over or anything. So we just have to use a bottle while we're driving.
Hold on. Well, that works for one version of the bathroom.
Right.
Definitely doesn't work for the second option.
Which is why we had to get on like that schedule of like this is my regular time to poop is right after I get off of my mission. Which for me was like as the sun was setting, so it was getting a little cooler. I waited until it dropped from 115 down to like 90, and I was like, this is fine.
So Ben has timed his body to poop when the sun sets for just a romantic, really beautiful.
I love this.
Absolutely. Just lots of farts and aw.
You're right.
Farts and all.
Farts and aw. And so they don't want you just pooping in the middle of the desert. They actually brought like porta potties out there, so we didn't ruin anything. So they would move the porta potties around wherever we put the camp.
You'd move the porta potties, right?
No, that was a civilian job. They actually contracted civilians to do that.
Okay.
So the civilians would come, and every day they'd clean it, restock it, whatever, and then move it for us. So I was just, on my way to the Porta John, and I had my phone. It was the only time I got to use my phone. And I had like one bar out in the Mojave Desert somehow. So I would just sit and I would take off my top, which in the military is not everything. It's just the overcoat. So the coat is called the top, and then you have your shirt. So I would take off my coat, and then I would sit down. I put in headphones. I'd listen to music, and I would like scroll through Facebook while I was just pooping.
I'm just shocked that you don't poop with your coat on.
No, because it's hot and restrictive.
Honestly, it's the restrictive thing. Actually, like if I feel a good poop coming, I'll just take off my shirt. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I don't need. That is so
absolutely.
I'm picturing you in a public bathroom right now, just being like,
public bathroom.
poop is coming on right now. Yeah.
But this is my time, man, to relax. This is all I got.
Look, I'd be lying if I said I've never done it, but mostly it's at home. Like that's. You're in a stall. You're by yourself. Who cares?
You're not by yourself, but I mean, you just can't see other people.
Someone sees in the gap just like a fully naked Ryan, just like, great food.
And because of his essential tremor, he's like shaking on the toilet. And they're like, "Are you okay? Naked shaking man in a public restroom?" And Ryan's like, "Oh no, I'm fine."
I just realized now, you guys saying this, that I have probably been someone's story of them seeing an insane homeless person. Like I am
the most well put together homeless man I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god! He doesn't wear any clothes, but he quilts his hair, so I guess that's a win. Like just,
I saw the most well put together homeless man ever.
Oh my gosh!
Life.
So
anyway, so you take off your overcoat, which I clearly agree with. Anyway,
it was just my only time to relax, so I would just scroll through, social media on the toilet. And the one thing that I forgot to tell you guys was a part of everyday life doing this exercise is that they hired people like military to be opposition forces.
Yeah.
And those
Red
guys
teaming, essentially.
they would go around the desert, camp to camp, and just invade and attack. And we would use blanks. So our weapons would make the noise and do a little bit of recoil or whatever. What a blank is, it's just a carbon. Yeah. It's just like what is it?
It's essentially minus the bullet.
Yeah, it's just gunpowder and it pops.
I got a question, Ben. Have you ever shot anything called simunition? Do you know what I'm talking about? When I say that, simunition is like essentially like the most intense version of paintball, but the bullet's replaced by like a pretty hard paint tip.
I know what you're talking about.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Hurts,
I've never shot it. No, I've shot a live rocket at a tank, but I've not shot simi round.
That was the coolest sentence I've ever heard in my entire life. That was wait, what type? Like an AT4? Ah, yes, it's Free Fire. I love that. That's so cool.
We can do that story at a different time if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna do that story.
Okay.
We're gonna do a story of most fun things we've ever shot. I can't wait. Because yours comes from the military. Mine comes from being like a redneck in Missouri, which is just like, and it's wild. Yeah.
So yeah, we just like every so often we just get invaded by Op 4. They would have blanks, but they also had like it was just like adult laser tag. Anytime their weapon would fire, it would register a laser beam, and we were wearing over our IOTVs, which is the metal plate. Oh, that's the other thing I was wearing. I was wearing full gear, so helmet and like metal plates. And then we also had to carry a gas mask on one hip and then something else on the other hip. And they gave me the largest rifle they had because they're like, it'd be funny to give it to the small guy. So they gave me
what rifle?
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. So
is it like a light machine gun?
Yeah. So everyone was carrying M16s. I was carrying the.
Did they give you an M240 Bravo?
Yes, that's the one they gave me. They gave me an M240 Bravo.
I love that Ryan knows all the names.
Which the only reason they gave it to me is because like it had like a week prior been declassified from a group fire or a team fire to individual weapon. So they're like, oh, now we can have one person carry this weapon.
Which is ridiculous because this thing, I think it weighs, this
20
gun weighs
pounds.
27 and like 0.6 pounds. It's crazy. It's
27
huge.
pounds. And I was just carrying that every single day, everywhere for a month in the Mojave Desert during the summer.
I thought you drove most of the summer.
Well, most of the time I would keep it, but I would still have to keep it. So I'd have to walk around my truck. Like we had to do. Okay. It was a lot. It was still a lot of walking.
I just love that they were like, well, you know what? In case he ever gets pulled over, he can mount this bad boy and go to work. Like,
and we had to do
out the window.
We had to do simulations, like being like attacked in a convoy. So I had to jump out of the truck, mount up the 240 on the ground outside my truck, and just like get ready to go, man.
Plus, that gun, if I'm correct, holds 100 rounds to 200 rounds, and then that's just suppressive fire. Ben's just going hard to the paint over his truck.
So they teach you a few things to do bursts because you can put it on a chain, so it doesn't matter. If you have 100 rounds on a chain, you can have 700 rounds on a chain. So they teach you.
You can also melt the barrel, which is amazing.
Well, they give you 2 barrels.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's detachable. It comes out. You just put the other one in there. And they teach you a couple sayings. You're supposed to do it for like 4-ish seconds. So it's, I'm up, they see me, I'm down. I'm up, they see me, I'm down. And that's 2 bursts. But the one that people do usually, and I'm gonna use the non-curse word version of it. But the one that most people yell in the military is "Die, mother trucker, die! Die, mother trucker, die!" We're fun people.
Active. It's getting
committing to the role. That's all it is.
Right. So now that we have all of this context, I'm sitting on the toilet, pants around my ankles, top off, 27-pound rifle not on me anymore. I put that down. Helmet off, 20-pound weight vest off. I'm chilling, dude. I'm relaxing, listen to music. Our camp gets attacked while I'm in the porta potty.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happening because I'm listening to music. Like I have my headphones in, so I don't know what's going on. Our camp gets attacked. They invade. Apparently they started using the porta potties as cover. Like they're hiding on the porta potties. And that's when I heard it. That's when I started hearing all of the blanks getting fired. People were yelling, take cover me while I move.
Man, you're like a Stan Lee cameo right now.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
that's exactly what it is.
Oh my god.
New York is being invaded by aliens, and I'm Stan Lee on the toilet going, huh?
Yeah.
So at this point, I take the headphones out, and I'm hearing war noises.
No.
And I'm like, okay, I guess I should. And I put my phone away. And then the guy that like started it was like right outside of my porta potty. Like I heard him like get up against it, and I heard him start yelling things. And at this point, I grab my 240 and like I pick it up and I point it towards the door. And I lean back on the porta potty and I put my feet up and I'm like about to kick the door open and just end this whole thing right now. And then as I'm about to do it, I'm like, he doesn't know I'm in here. I could just keep pooping.
I actually don't have to.
I don't have to do this at all. This is their problem.
That would have been so cool, though, to kick open, still sitting.
Yeah,
Die, mother trucker, die!
Pants still around my ankles, just Play it like it's a paintball game. Take the hit.
I just love the image of you all of a sudden being surrounded by brass inside. Like you shoot, you're surrounded by brass, and you close the door. You're like, I'm done.
I would get burned if I would use like all these casings would bounce off the porta potty walls and just hit me in the face. I'm not wearing my plate vest. I'm not wearing my helmet. I'm just having burns all over my body because I wanted to poop comfortably. And the war at the same time. So I'm like, I'm not gonna end it. It's fine. And I put the rifle back down, and I just pull my phone back out, start going through social media again. I just got right back on Twitter, and then at this point, like he leaves. There's no more bullets being fired. There's no more blanks being fired. I just hear just like a steady hiss, like a.
No.
Which never a good noise to hear when you're playing war games. And I look up like suspiciously. I'm like, what is going on? And then I get a whiff. And it just smells like, at first I'm like, I think my brain was like trying to convince my body that it was just a lot of CO2 from all the blanks that were fired, right? That's all it is. It's just a lot of CO2 that I just got into my nose. And then I took another breath. And sure enough, he left a nice little gas grenade on the ground where he was, which was right outside of my porta potty. I got gassed while pooping in a porta potty in the Mojave Desert in the middle of summer.
Oh my god.
And I looked down, and guess what the one thing that I left in my truck that day was?
Your gas.
No.
My gas mask.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh.
So here's Ben, no gear, no mask, pooping in a porta potty, just getting straight gassed. I am sobbing, like I'm crying, my nose is running, but I'm like mad, but like I'm just annoyed. That's all I am. I'm just like, gas. Really? This is what we're doing? I can't stand you right now. And like my unit had like this weird thing about like loving to go through the gas chamber. So I'd been through the gas chamber like 8 times up to this point.
Wow, as may I say, from my people have never decided, oh man, a fun gas chamber run. It never ended well for us. Like that's where.
No, and I don't like it, man. But like it got to a point.
You took the right thing out of that. Yeah.
I am barely affected by gas at this point. I've been through it 8 times. I built up a tolerance to it. So when I got hit by the gas grenade, I started crying and like my nose started running, and then I blew my nose and wiped the tears out of my eyes, and then I was done. It was over. That's all it was for me. Was a runny nose and crying. But I realized like in that moment, if someone had just like opened the door for whatever reason, they would have seen a man pants around his ankles in a porta potty crying his eyes out and just screaming, gas! Really? Is this what we're doing now? A man sitting on the brink of eternity and not handling it well. Like that's all they would have seen. Just like someone would have opened it and be like, "Ooh, you're going through some stuff, huh? I'll leave you alone."
Yeah, we're just gonna let you take 5, bud. Yeah, it's okay.
And then I got, I was done. I was so mad at this point. I got all my stuff back on. I packed all my gear back on, and I opened the porta potty. And people are still running around trying to kill this person, like fake kill this person. So like the whole
now
camp,
you're ready to real kill him.
No,
like,
I was just tired. I wanted to go to sleep. I was like nobody, because the whole time the whole mission was just so poorly run that like we were helping another unit, and that other unit did not know what was going on. There was like 9 people from my unit that went to support a bigger unit, and they were not good at what they were doing. So we were just like done with their stuff from the jump. They didn't know what they were doing the whole time. Half of us never got issued blanks. Half of us never got issued our laser pointers for our weapons. So even if I had shot somebody, it wouldn't have done anything. I never even had batteries for my vest to say that I would have died, because the unit that we were working with was just so bad. So at this point, I'm like, I'm not going to help these guys with a fake war. This is dumb.
Yeah,
like if I'm
going to fight a fake war, I need it to fake count. Okay,
absolutely. Like, I had already decided that when I got there. I was like, if I get attacked while I'm eating or while I'm sleeping, I'm not moving.
If I take a fake life outside of a porta potty, I need to take a real.
Yeah, I need it. I want to mean it, And so the whole camp is running war games, and I'm just angrily walking upright and slowly just through the desert. Note, not taking cover. I'm not hiding. I'm not yelling commands. I'm just mad. I'm just like, my tent is over there and I'm gonna get there. And I'm not even gonna try to act like I'm scared about it. And I'm just going, and people see me and they're like, get down. And I'm like, I will, in my tent. And I just kept going. I
love the image of you getting a vest, like getting it on, you being asleep and being like, and getting woken up and being like, I'm not going to do it. You just taking your rifle and shooting yourself so that it's like the respawn time. I want to respawn. Yeah.
If I got attacked while sleeping, I would not have unzipped my tent.
What are your laser pointers going to do? Get through my tent? I think not.
No, yeah, lasers can't go through tents, you dummy. This is the safest place in the whole camp. And I get back to the big tent, and all of my friends are in there because they gave up caring a long time ago with me. So it's like the 7 of us are just in the bigger tent going, so they find him yet? And I was like, no, but I did. And they were like, and then what? And I was like, and then he gassed me while I was pooping the porta potty. And they're like, you got gassed while pooping in the porta potty? I was like, that's what I said. Don't make me repeat it. And then I put I mounted the 240 facing the open flap of our tent, and then I got in my tent cot and I like angrily zippered the flap. And then from outside of it, I just yelled, someone man that gun if anyone tries to get in. I'm going to sleep.
My question is, did he know you were in the porta potty?
There's no way he could have known.
Drop a gas grenade.
There's no way he could have known.
Well, yeah, well, that's my thing. Is like, why would he waste a gas? He was just like, I'm gonna protect this area.
I think he was. I think maybe he was just like, what if?
He was probably like, he probably
was very correct. His instincts.
Yeah,
his instincts were very correct.
He was probably just like, what would be really funny.
My guess would be that he just dropped it for cover, because then he's like, no one's gonna go into this zone anymore. So
that's probably what it was.
Yeah, zone coverage.
But yeah, that's how it ended. To this day, worst deuce of my life.
Okay, I've got a story that's I'm gonna tell you guys the worst deuce of my life, and I've never told this story because it's just so embarrassing.
This episode has a theme now.
It does. It's deuce themed. I was gonna go with something else, but I've literally never told this story. Yay. And I hope my roommates don't listen to this podcast.
How exciting!
Because so here's what happened. For those that don't know, like my stomach is like the worst part of my body. Like it's just always like,
I've seen it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw your stomach, I was like, that has to be the worst part about him.
That's the worst part. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gosh, it's just the worst. It's like essentially like just randomly. It's like Dan's problem, but randomly, my stomach will just make the sound of like cocking a shotgun. Like, well, welcome to the worst day of your life. And so
your stomach's like, it'd be really funny.
You know what'd be funny if you were just gonna essentially. Have you ever seen a fire hose? Yeah, that. Let's do that.
And
I don't
so
like
you have
descriptive
good
words.
Yeah. So I do. Thankfully, I like take medication, things like that now, or like now I just eat a ton of fiber, to be honest, which helps. But like sometimes it's still random where it's like custard gets me. It's egg whites for me. I'm mildly allergic to egg whites, and that'll just
really.
And do you ever? Yeah. And I feel like you just eat egg whites every so often and just be like, "Is this still a thing?" Yep. Okay.
That's what I do with milk.
Look,
am I healed? No.
It is egg whites, but also sometimes it's just random. So it's like, you know what? If it's random, I might as well at least choose. At least I know when I'm gonna suffer sometimes. And so but do you know what's in egg? Do you know what egg whites are in? Everything good. Everything that makes life worth living. Cakes,
dairy
goodies.
Yep.
It's just So anyway, one night, I don't know what I'd eaten, but it was something that was that I just heard again, and I was like, oh no.
This'll be fun.
And so I'm in my room, and at this point, I lived really close to Disney. I lived in essentially like a condo house. It was a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, and me and this one girl that I lived with named Megan. I lived with 2 Megans. One's named Megatron. One's Nutmeg. I shared the bathroom with Nutmeg. Now,
sure, okay,
just accept everything that was just said.
I have no questions. Continue on, Your Honor.
Thank you. And so I'm in my room, and I'm like, and she would always ask me before she went to take a shower, because it normally took her a while, like, hey, I'm gonna go take a shower. Do you need to use the bathroom? And this time, she didn't. And then my body, it's gonna get so much worse, and it's never gonna get better. So at this point, I'm like, she goes in there, and this is a particularly long shower, and I'm feeling, and at minute 2, I'm like, this is an emergency situation. Like we're hearing the song "Evacuate the Dance Floor" playing in my head.
And did you knock and we're like, hey, are you done? Can you be done? You should be done.
You should be. No, here's the thing, because I don't want to for me, I'm a guy. I'm knocking on the door of a girl who's currently naked. I'm not going to do that. That's too much uncomfortable.
Knocking is the appropriate thing to do.
I don't know, man. I couldn't handle it. I was just like, I don't want her to. I couldn't figure it out in my head to do that, and I was way too awkward. And I was more uncomfortable, and so I went downstairs because I was like, my roommate Nate's bathroom opens to the outside. I'm going to see if I can use that. Freaking his girlfriend's taking a shower, and I'm like, I am getting annihilated by showers right now. And
this is just another story where Ryan is bested by women yet again.
I said showers.
But who was in the showers, Ryan?
Human beings. Anyway. So I'm like, okay. And then I went upstairs. I was like, wait, maybe Megatron, because she had a private bathroom that was attached to her room. Maybe that bathroom is open. She's asleep. And I'm like, not. So I'm like, I can't. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I've got some make or break decisions to make right now. We're like, what is the game plan?
I know what's going to happen. The question is where.
So here's the thing. I don't know why this is my logic, but my logic was like, okay, I need to find a private place. I need to figure out like what essentially what can catch this. You know what I mean? Like I need something. So I went downstairs. Jesus Christ.
I don't know where this bad decision is about to go, but I went downstairs
and I grabbed a trash bag.
Yep, I was right. I feel bad. No! I feel terrible.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster, Ryan.
No, it wasn't, and I wish it had been. But here's the thing: so I lived upstairs in my room, and I was like, I could go into my room, and I was like, no, I can't go in my room because first off, I don't want to destroy my room. Second off, I also like our walls are thin, so I don't want my roommate to get out of the shower and just hear me essentially like destroying my
dying.
Room. I will.
Oh no. So, okay, yeah, now we're understanding that Ryan's about to leave his own place with a trash bag and an upset stomach.
A trash bag and upset stomach and a mission.
And no hope for the future. Oh, Dan is having a breakdown right now.
Oh my God! I go outside into our back place and we have a detached garage. So I go into the detached garage, and I was like, no one can hear me here.
Let me go into the most echoey place in a home.
Yeah,
Where's
and
the-
also the place that really you can't lock from your neighbors.
You can actually, believe it or not, our garage locked from the inside because we'd had people that had tried to break in, so we had it so it locked from the inside.
Just in case those people that broke in like forgot and they locked it from the inside and they just locked themselves in
Essentially,
there.
they unlocked it from the outside, so we were like, well, we'll just flip it, so we could lock it from the inside. So I lock it from the inside, and I sit down, and we have this bench in there that for some reason had like an opening that was towards the back, and so I was like, perfect. And so I just hooked up essentially this trash bag and just loudly shat in the garage.
No, I don't know if you're real smart or real dumb, but I'm leaning towards real dumb.
Well, here's the thing. I was like, I finished this disaster. I just tied that bad boy off, and thankfully it was trash day the next
And
day.
you went
so
to a nearby dog park, and you're like, yeah, this is what people do with bags full
Look at
of
what this
poop.
dog did. Oh my god.
A
It's
big old
impressive
dog.
for a
We
dog.
have it's a chihuahua. You know how those things are.
Well, I do shake like one, but I don't poop like one. So. But yeah, so that was the worst. That was the worst pooping experience I've ever had in my entire life.
I'll be honest with you, Ryan. I thought that story was gonna be way worse than it ended.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I didn't.
I thought for sure you were just gonna use the bathroom while your roommate was showering.
That's what I thought too.
No,
and just
I don't
ruin
know.
her life
Well,
forever.
that was my first thought. And then you said you were going to get a trash bag, and I was like, okay, he's gonna go poop
in his room
somewhere regular.
Well,
And then you were like, I found a bench.
I went outside.
A bench in the garage because essentially we had a little we had like an outside area, like a little like patio, and then it attached to our garage. And I was like, the garage. And so I don't know why. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever pooped in a garage, but honestly, kind of nice.
What would you have
Please tell me
said?
that you did not take your shirt off during this one.
I absolutely did. Are you kidding me? I was
sure.
so uncomfortable. I needed to find comfort.
Physically, mentally, and emotionally uncomfortable, you have to take your shirt off for this one.
Like I had to find my comfort.
Right, Ryan, what would you have said if somebody saw that? If they opened the door and saw it, what would you have said?
That's why I locked the door. I almost didn't lock the door, but I thought about that. And that makes it so hard to poop when you got it in your mind, like, who's going to witness this atrocity against nature? Well, also I was thinking, like, if someone tries to come out to the garage and the garage door is locked, well, they've got keys and we'd always use our keys to get in. So I was like, this would be an end game situation. This is a you move next day kind of thing.
Yeah. I imagine you'd just say other things that were said on a park bench. Like, I don't know, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Life is like sometimes you randomly create chocolates and it's horrible. But yeah, so that was my story time.
And now,
of disaster.
listeners, you know where the three of us had and what the context surrounding the worst poops of our entire lives were. Thank you for listening. And that's story time.
That is story
time.
Yay.
Shall we get right into that sweet, silly question segment?
We absolutely should.
Yes. Are you ready for the
Yes.
LGBTQ?
No, that's
of
not the
week?
silly question, Dan.
Oh,
Why would we say the LGBTQ part is silly? We get enough people asking our TikToks. If we...
I'm sabotaging this.
No. Dan,
Anyway,
if
silly questions.
if people hear us call the
Yeah.
LGBTQ question silly, we're canceled. Okay,
Absolutely.
that's not what.
I mean,
The silly question of the week
even
is:
you, Dan.
how many
You guys-
chickens do you think it would take to kill an elephant? I have an answer to this.
10,000.
10,000. That's a weirdly like high, but also fairly like specific. You're just like 9,000 wouldn't work. It would take 10,000 of them to do it.
Okay, a regular chicken weighs anywhere between 5 to 10 pounds.
Also, are we talking
And,
like roosters? Or are we talking like...
The question specifically is chickens.
Okay.
Also, is your number changing? If it is
10,000.
roosters?
Nope. Well, roosters are just like more violent.
They're bigger.
So maybe.
I got it. Are they cockfighting chickens? Like, do they have little knives attached to their feet? Like, is that, like
Yeah.
He's got a knife.
He's got a knife. No. Also, the male Asian elephant weighs 8,800 pounds. The female weighs 6,000 pounds. Just giving you kind of a perspective on what we need to be figuring out here.
Sure. What? Okay, Ryan, you're doing math right now?
Yeah. Why would I not?
It takes 50 lions to take down, or at least I've seen a documentary where it took 50 lions to take down a male elephant. So I feel like a chicken.
They're doing it wrong, I feel. You said 50,
Wait,
5-0.
Wait, what about you, Ben? What would you take it down with? Because you seem to have a pre-programmed answer for this.
Yes, yeah.
3? Why 3?
It would take 3 chickens to kill an elephant.
Why?
Well, so you would need 1 to lodge itself in the elephant's throat, and then 2 to plug up the trunk holes.
Yes.
Oh, wait, you're trying to suffocate it with chickens?
How else would chickens kill an elephant, Ryan?
Well, but I don't think they're going to be tactically going at it.
No, but that's if chickens try to kill an elephant, they don't look at tactics. They're not going to kill an elephant.
I feel like you are in a sci-fi scenario.
No, I'm
this is a robot chicken.
This is a sci-fi scenario. Chickens are trying to kill an elephant. What other scenario would we be in right now, Dan? Honestly, I
pile 10,000 chickens on top. They take out its eyes and slowly peck at its back for multiple hours, and then slowly just eat through the spine.
That's still a strategy.
That's true.
You're not mad at Dan for strategy. You're mad at me for strategy. I'm suffocating an African an African bull elephant using 3 chickens. I feel like you should be more proud of me, honestly.
I don't think that they could get stuck like that, though.
They
That's my problem.
absolutely could. And that's why, because my original thought was 2. Because 1 in the throat and 1 in the nose, but like, how would the chicken keep on the nose of the elephant? That's why you have to take the heads. They would stick their heads into the nostrils of the elephant's trunk, which would be a lot harder to get out. And they would like grip on with their beaks. They'd grip onto something in there. I don't know, the hair or whatever.
Yeah.
The other method, you could use less chickens for this, is wait until the elephant goes out into deep water, and then just swim out there and just sit on his trunk.
The bird just keeps
going. Just sit on his trunk. Can't breathe, can't fight.
So I'm just Googling the dumbest things that I'm trying to... Okay, here's what I got, though. Hit me with this one. I think it's anywhere from like... it depends, but it could be 1 chicken, because elephants, turns out, I just did some research, can in fact... This is a study from 1972... African elephants and the black rhinoceros can be affected by salmonella. So I want to know if uncooked chicken, if they ate 1, you're doomed.
Just
you
1.
Got salmonella, baby.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Because my strategy was 3 chickens collectively suffocating an elephant. So why can't 1 uncooked chicken? Absolutely enough.
Right?
Now,
I think so.
1. Okay, how many living chickens?
10,000.
In my world, it's all dead chickens, because like they could have started living, but if an elephant like say starts fighting back and is trying to eat them,
what kind of world are you living in?
Well, this is like a
Fight
it's
Club
all version.
Dead chickens to me.
Oh man, is that anybody else?
That
really
would be a very interesting cockfight. Do you know that like in Zimbabwe they used to sell cockfights on DVD?
What?
On DVD?
Yeah. We go to the flea market and buy pirated DVDs, because that's all you could get in the third world. And people would just be like, do you want some cockfights? We have cockfights 3.
Did they give them fun names?
7. There's like full on, like there was like compilations discs of it. It was crazy.
That sounds like the most wild YouTube experience ever. Like just
I had a neighbor when I was living in Daytona Beach. I had a neighbor that would come and knock on a window of my house and then just hold up his latest bootleg. Like he's just like whatever movie had just come out. He was just like, if he was a professional bootlegger and he'd just come and he would knock on the window. I'd be like, yo, man, we're friends. You can just use the door. Like you can come in and he's like, nah, it just doesn't feel right selling it through a door. But like him and my dad would hang out and be like, they were friends, and he would just come and knock on a window and be like, yo, I got that World of the Apes
World of the Apes. We actually had entire stores, like DVD stores, that were bootleg stuff. So like a fancy, they'd sell PlayStations and everything else.
Instead of Blockbuster, they had Bootbuster.
That's great. But yeah, that makes me believe that it needs to be 10,000 chickens. After my experience of
watching pirated cockfight DVDs.
I never watched them. I just saw them always on the little TVs they had to like demonstrate the DVDs they had.
Yeah, I feel like
random cockfights.
Dan's done the most research on the combative expertise of chickens out of the three of us.
It's true.
That's why I know the thing about the roosters, because I was like, woo. I saw a rooster once and I was like, a rooster fight, and I was like, these roosters are ruthless. Oh my gosh.
They're going at it.
So what is your answer, Ryan, if it's living chickens?
See, living chickens. See, when we say a fight, it implies that they are fighting against each other. So the elephant, the only real way that an elephant's going to kill them is
it's not a fight. It's how many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
Oh, living, dang. Yeah, it's going to have to be some sort of wild number, kind of like Dan, where it's just like
disrespecting the strategy.
Look, man, I don't see chickens pulling it off. I see the elephant blowing its nose and firing them out of its trunk like a shotgun.
I didn't say they could do it.
Elephants control of nostrils.
I'm just saying that's the way to do it.
That's an attempt. Maybe if they find a sleeping elephant, they're like, okay, let's get him.
Yeah, as opposed to
launch themselves.
Yeah, okay.
Rambo
if we're gonna
chickens.
go by whether or not a chicken could do it, yeah, let a chicken round up 10,000 friends. And then peck an elephant to death, Ryan. You think that is more viable than an elephant choking on a chicken in the most business sense possible?
The most business. You know what? I think it could start out as a live chicken, but I could essentially this chicken would be like a suicide bomber. Essentially, it would just like take itself and like run towards the elephant's mouth, get eaten, and not the salmonella thing, but actually, since elephants mostly eat like roughage and bone, or like they don't eat bones. I'm curious if the bones or the beak would be sharp enough to like puncture the stomach, and that would be what kills it.
That too.
Yeah.
Also,
internal bleeding.
I've had a feather in my throat before, and yeah, I agree. I'd probably choke on something like a full chicken in my neck.
A lot of feathers attached to a body? Yeah.
It'd be bad.
Yeah.
All right, that is our silly question. Let us know who you think is correct here and why it's me. Moving on. Ryan's ridiculous history.
Yeah.
I just filmed this video, which will go up on YouTube later because we add a whole bunch of fun shenanigans with it. But this guy is the craziest presidential assassin of all time. His name is Charles J. Guiteau.
I'm sorry. The list is not that long. And if you're assassinating a president, you're probably pretty crazy.
That's the thing. So, like, just think about that. Like, this is a list of people that are already very insane. Let's see who.
And this is the most insane. The guy who killed Lincoln jumped out of a second-story window, broke both legs, crawled to a shed, and then stayed in a shed for 3 days.
Then he got shot in the throat and then ended up bleeding out.
Yeah, and this guy is crazier?
Yeah, so we've got John Wilkes Booth. Dan, I think we got dog coming through.
No, it's at my house.
Oh, it's Ben.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got. Wow, there've been a lot of assassination attempts. But yeah, essentially, this guy was freaking nutter butters. His name is Charles J. Guiteau. He was born in Freeport, Illinois. He then moved to a place in Wisconsin that I can't pronounce. And after that, he wanted to go to Ann Arbor. It's like Ulao. It's ULAO. Someone explain.
ULAO?
Yeah, how would you say that?
Ulao.
That sounds wild. For Wisconsin?
They have a lot of Native American stuff, yeah. Like Oconomowoc, Manitowoc.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Ashwaubenon.
Are you making things? I honestly don't know.
No, these are all real. I literally did a sketch about this like last week.
Noted. Good to know. I did not know that. Yeah, so I can't pronounce anything. Here's the thing. If you're looking at me to pronounce like Native American places correct, I barely speak English. You guys watched me have a stroke earlier trying to say words. Long story short, he tries to go to the University of Michigan, but he fails the entrance exam because he just studied algebra and French. He really didn't study anything else in high school.
And those are the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, totally same thing. No.
If you don't know what you're doing, algebra is French.
That's true. You're not wrong. But he learned that and he was like, well, I guess I'm just going to go live in the Oneida colony now, which is a cult commune, by the way. They practice something called Christian perfectionism, which is wild. It started by a guy named John Humphrey Noyes, who
and
believed
it's
that
still
Jesus
around today.
We'll get to that. So this dude ended up being like, he believed that like Jesus came back in 70 AD. It was just a real quick turnaround. Then
he's just like, I just went to go say hi to Dad, and I'm back. What's up?
Hi, Dad. Oh, back? Oh, I could go back.
All right. They don't really like me down there.
Yeah. Did you see what happened last time?
They kind of
bad.
killed me. So.
But yeah, he moves to this place, and they're practicing something called Christian perfectionism, which means that like the earth is actually heaven, so you can live a perfect life. So they will do these things where it's called, oh my gosh, they had like complex marriages, which is not a marriage at all. It's just free love for the entire community. But they also practice something called male continence, meaning that the guy can't bust. Otherwise, that's a sin. So you could have like sex for as long as possible. You can't nut.
Blue balls are rampant, dude.
Right? That's what it's a blue ball factory, man. It's wild.
This law was clearly made by women.
It actually, you know what's crazy? The guy who started was a guy named John Humphrey Noyes. So a dude for some reason was like, I got this idea on lock. So he's blue balls in the whole town. While this is happening, they also have something called mutual criticism, which is just every once in a while, they'll all get together and roast the hell out of each other.
We need to bring that back.
Right?
We need to bring back public bullying.
That just sounds like stand-up comedy to me.
It does.
Comedians getting together.
Yeah, but this is like a government-ordained public bullying session.
That's what it was, because like any mishap, you didn't get bullied until you stopped doing that, and so they did.
You busted a nut with your wife.
Yeah.
Or
the community's wife. Yeah. Well, there's a thing they actually frowned upon monogamous relationships. They did. They were like, yep, nope, can't do that.
Good for them. So progressive of this cult.
That sounds like heaven.
It's going to get real progressive because they also believed, unfortunately, that like if you wanted to have a kid, you had to go to the elder council and be like, hey, we would like to have a kid. And then they would judge you based on like all your merits. Guys, it was pre-eugenics, which didn't end well.
This is Ender's Game.
It is interesting. Yes. It's like the part of Star Trek that no one talks about, like that early part where they're like the eugenics wars, like that's this.
Okay, so but only have two.
Right, like keep it simple. Charles J. Guiteau then moves to the Oneida colony, but everyone hates him so much because he's just a raving narcissistic idiot.
Well, he knows algebra and French. You can't know those two things and not come off as a narcissist.
It's kind of like having that like criminology degree from that. I forgot what your degrees are.
You missed.
It's kind of like having.
I almost had it.
It's kind of like having 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree, and then turning in stolen cars.
Like, man, it's not the most efficient way, but it's getting it done. I ended up. So Charles J. Guiteau ends up going there. They hate him so much that they nickname him Charles Get Out, and then it takes 5 years for him to leave.
Because he's like, I don't know how you speak English. Can you say in French?
Can you say parlez-vous français?
Can you say in numbers? I speak algebra.
A plus B equals C.
Your mother smells like elderberries?
Guys, he then leaves the Oneida colony, goes to start a newspaper called the Daily Theocrat, which is like supposed to be based off the Oneida religion. Shockingly, the paper doesn't sell well because most people aren't like, hey, you know what I want in my religion? Not to be able to come. And also,
what do you mean I have to solve fractions to read it?
Also, no one's reading a newspaper with theocrat in the title and thinking, this is what I need to read.
Oh, no Sunday funnies? Ugh.
Gross. Yeah. So after that, he goes back to the Oneida colony, tries to sue them because he was like, well, I did a whole bunch of unpaid labor. And they're like, yeah, we're a commune. That's what we all do. So that went nowhere.
Everyone here does unpaid labor, bud. You're not special just because you can do numbers and speak French.
Right, just because you know what you're supposed to be paid based on the numbers doesn't mean that you're gonna get paid.
Yeah, we all talk to Jesus regularly. We're all special, okay? Like, you're not... Go away, Charles. Get out.
Charles, get out.
And then, so he left. He decided, well, what's the furthest I can go away from God? So he became a lawyer. After that, he was a terrible lawyer.
I assumed Florida was the answer.
A Florida lawyer, probably.
I have a meeting with him later.
Really? Oh, nice.
I really do, yeah. Not for anything that I did, but...
Oh, noted. But yeah, so he ends up, he becomes a lawyer, argues one case. We don't know what the outcome was. He probably lost, and they became a bill collector. And as he becomes a bill collector, he just realizes, oh, this is how you steal money. So he starts lying about all of his bills while stealing from the people he's collecting money from. And it's just ridiculous. He gets married to a woman named Annie Bunn, proof that there's someone for everyone. And then he moves to New York because that's how you could just get away with things before the internet.
He's just kind of like, well, the Christian cult didn't work out, so let's try lawyering. That didn't work. Let's try bill collecting. People like bill collectors, right?
They love them.
Historically, one of the most liked professions in American history is bill collecting.
In this, I'm just gonna give you a rundown. Oh, sorry, you were saying.
I was just gonna say my favorite part about that is that like people used to have to go in person to collect bills.
Yeah,
right? Like that's a whole other. Yeah,
I know it's funny to me because we know the trajectory is ending on presidential assassin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like that's the underscore.
The whole thing was just heading downward the entire time for this guy.
And it was all because he studied French and algebra.
That's what it is. Yeah, no, don't major in that. You know what's interesting? So here's the speed run of what happens for the rest of his life. Sure. Like he's straight up. So he moves to New York, decides, I want to join the Democratic Party. I want to get into politics. Writes a speech for a guy named Horace Greeley, who's running for president. You've never heard of President Horace Greeley because he didn't win. And then he decides, well, you know what? I'm done doing that. So then he keeps like bill collecting, but then like people are chasing him for debts he owes. His wife wants a divorce, but in the 1800s, you just couldn't get a divorce willy-nilly. So he sleeps with a prostitute and then calls her into court so that he can prove he was adulterous so that the court would let them get a divorce.
Hey, listen, I'm going to pay you I'm going to pay you for your services, but I'm also going to give you a big tip. If you do this extra thing for me, the less questions you ask, the better. I just need you to show up at this address at this time on this day. And she's like, "Is this the courthouse?" Yes. Room 1C on Thursday, if you could, and just don't lie.
I also love that they got a prostitute to testify, which prostitution was still illegal back then. So it's one of those things where it's like, she can walk in and be like, I was doing the crime thing with this guy. Like that.
I imagine
that's what I was going to say. I was surprised that they got a prostitute to confess.
Like, she walked in and the judge was like, Mary? And she's like, hey, John.
Hi, good to see ya. I'm happy to make more divorces.
How are the kids? How's the family?
And him?
I know. I'm disappointed with myself too. Like that.
He did algebra while we were sleeping together.
$20 is $20.
Oh my god. We co-signed my tangent. I don't know what happened. Like this.
Anyway. I hate you so much for that joke.
So yeah, gets a divorce from his wife.
Am I right? Okay.
Dude, so he gets a divorce from his wife. Then he ends up, he gets in a boat crash, which the other boat that they got in a crash with sank, killing like everyone. And then his boat was fine. He took that from a sign from God. And he's to get back into politics.
How many people died on the boat? Everyone died in the boat crash. Everyone.
It's literally like almost everybody on the other boat. His boat was totally fine, though. It made it back to dock. He ended up writing a book called The Truth, which was 100% plagiarized from the Oneida Colony. He went on a tour pretending to be the new Apostle Paul and then saying that this is the new gospel. That went nowhere. And then he decided, well, you know what? I'm going to get back into politics. He at one point is caught by his bill collectors, sent to jail. His sister bails him out. He attacks her with an axe. You know, normal family stuff.
Yeah, that's what you do. You're like, I was enjoying my time in there.
Yeah, super normal.
Dare you give me freedom that I didn't ask for?
I did not ask for this. So he does that, and then he starts writing. He's like, you know what, being a Democrat didn't work out, so he became a Republican.
Sure,
and then,
because why not, right? It means the same thing.
Willy-nilly, flipsy-topsy, turvy, whatever's going on there.
Topsy-turvy?
I don't know. My brain stopped. I'm talking about an insane person, and this is clearly one of those things where, like, my brain is like, I can't even wrap my head around this guy. So he writes a speech for Grant, who is running for his third term, but Garfield takes the nomination, so he just takes the speech, crosses out every point that says Grant, and rewrites Garfield, and's like, that'll do.
Absolutely.
He gives the speech twice to nowhere in particular, to no really people. Garfield wins, and he's like, well, this was clearly all my doing, so I deserve the consulship of Vienna. And then he decided Paris later because he's insane.
Oh, those are real words he said, not just like a weird thing that you made up?
Consulship is like ambassadorship. Yeah. So he wanted to be the ambassador to Paris, and then he was like, okay, well, they're not giving it to me. So he starts stalking the president and what's it called? The Secretary of State, James G. Blaine.
To be fair, we kind of know where they live already.
That
it's not really
true.
stalking so much as it is being well informed on American politics.
That's true. They also used to publish like where the president was going to be, though, which is honestly a terrible idea.
Right up until that one guy, but go on.
Yeah, right until about 1963.
Somewhere's about October.
Yeah, right. October, November, I don't know. Dallas, why does that feel right? Anyway, but yeah, so he starts stalking them and just showing up places and being like, hey, how about that consulship? And they keep going, no, you're a crazy person. And at one point, the Secretary of State turns around and is like, never speak to me about the Paris consulship as long as you live. And that's when Charles J. Guiteau was like, well, you know what? That sounds like killing the president kind of words. And then he just bought a gun with an ivory handle because he thought it would look cooler in a museum. The Smithsonian had the gun, but they lost it in a beautiful twist of irony. And yeah, he snuck behind Garfield, shot him twice. Garfield actually probably died of like infections because his doctors didn't sanitize their equipment because, you know, thanks modern medicine for not being the absolute worst.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Charles J. Guiteau got hung a year later, but before he got hung, he wrote a poem the night before. He demanded an orchestra be there to play it so that he could sing-song it. Obviously, he didn't get an orchestra. Sure. So he just sat there reading it in a falsetto voice, and then he was finally hung in the chaos that was his life.
Do we still have the poem?
Oh. You want me to find out? Hold on.
Yeah, if you can find it.
If there's a poem.
The poem by the least famous presidential assassin, by the way.
Actually, probably whoever killed McKinley, I'm going to go with whoever that guy was.
Oh, yeah. The fact that I didn't even know McKinley was assassinated, for sure, that guy. But this is the second least famous presidential assassin.
He recited a poem called Oh, no way. Oh, no way. Text before reciting the poem.
Are you onto something?
I hope so. Okay, before reciting his poem, Guiteau, I am now going to read some verses which are intended to indicate my feelings at the moment of leaving this world. If set to music, they may be rendered very effective. The idea is that of a child babbing to his mama and his papa. I wrote it this morning at about 10 o'clock.
Yes, I love that. I love that fact that he added in there. That's the comedian equivalent of I wrote this note at 3 a.m. last night, and it doesn't really make much sense to me.
That's really it. Plus, it just says the poem is repetitive, containing his numerous hallelujahs and glories to God. And Guiteau describes himself as a savior of both his party and his land, but laments that his country has murdered him for it. By the way, part of his defense, like part of his court case, was him saying, like, I didn't kill Garfield. I just shot him. Malpractice killed Garfield. And it's like, what?
Perfect. Love it. Full send.
Let me see if I can get I Am Going to the Lordy is the name of the poem. Poem. I want to get full text. I mean, here's the thing, though. This guy just wrote like totally deranged things, so we might have it. Okay. Yep. Got it. Okay, here we go. This is the poem written by Charles J. Guiteau at apparently 10 a.m. before his execution, where he demanded an orchestra play with him, and he did it in a high-pitched child falsetto, which I will attempt for you in this moment. I am going. No, I really can't do falsetto. I can't do it. I am going to the Lordy. I am so glad. Like, that's the closest I got. I am going to the Lordy. I am so glad. I am going to the Lordy. Glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. I am going to the Lordy. I love the Lordy with all my soul. Do you think God's insulted, like being called the Lordy?
I kind of wish that next line was, "I'm going to the Lordy, with love in my hearty." Just trying to force rhymes.
This guy was like, well, I mean, he clearly forced where he's like, what rhymes with glory? Lordy? That's close enough. So he said, yeah, I love the Lordy with all my soul. Glory, hallelujah. And that is the reason that I am going to the Lord. Glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. I am going to the Lord. I saved my party and my land. Glory, hallelujah. But they have murdered me for it. And the reason that I'm going to the Lordy. Glory, hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. I'm going to the Lordy. I wonder what I will do when I get to the Lordy. I guess that I will weep no more when I go to the Lordy. I just hope we got up there. Like there is an afterlife.
Lordy is a place and not
I'm just imagining the people that have to be there to hang him are just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, can we?
It would be really fun if like heaven is real and he went up there and they were like, Charles, get out.
Yeah, Charles, yeah, right. That's my favorite image of this is him going up there and being like Peter being at the gates and being like, hi, Charles, how you doing? He's like, great. Did God hear the poem that I wrote right before that? And it's like, yeah, you know what he did? And then you just hear the Lil Nas X sound and there goes Charles. just down to hell. Oh my gosh. This dude was insane. That's pretty much the end of that poem. It's just repetitive and crazy.
That's so funny. The world's worst presidential assassin.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did it, so not the worst, but
oh my gosh. Wait, hold on.
Most insane, maybe.
He would constantly write poems. By the way, he was a super egotistical guy. Like he was what am I looking at here? Hold on.
I don't know.
From the chapter of Life of Guiteau, it looks like because he'd taken into writing poetry, he also had other things published in the newspaper. Like people asked him why he shot the president. What he quote said was, "I shot the president. So God told me to shoot the president.
Sure. Can't argue that.
Good start with that. So that would stop the Secretary of State, James G. Blaine, from starting a war with Chile."
What?
Yeah, by the way, this guy wanted to be minister of Chile when he wrote it for the Democratic Party, like his speech there. That's what he wanted the whole time. So, dude, this dude just wanted weird places. So he's got a poem called Simplicity. Let me see what this is.
It's just one word.
He puts
Simple.
I wish. He puts weird parentheses, and it caught my attention because he goes, "Thou Jehovah," which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, Jehovah is that's Yahweh.
Yeah,
like that's but
God.
It's taking out all the pronunciation of it. That's how we get the word Jehovah. That's really where it comes from. Like the pronunciation marks of Hebrew, it's just like, nope, and then you get Jehovah, which always makes me laugh. All things created saw the evil one, he being uncreated like thyself. And then it puts in parentheses, see my book. What is that?
See my book?
Later comes this. The retribution came quick.
Did you see my book?
Did you see my book? Like that is a weird like promo to himself. That'd be like if we were just midway through this podcast and we're like GDFM podcast. It's like, yeah, you're here. Yeah. Like that, everyone knows that.
Okay, have you seen my other videos?
I guess that is how we start off every podcast. Is with
and it.
The retribution came quick and sharp and fire and blood and shot and shell and endless pain like a jumping tooth lasting forever and ever. In parentheses, a jumping tooth gives an idea of hell. And that is what those Jews got.
Oh my God.
Why?
No, so didn't need that parenthetical.
Right? Just random. It just made me laugh because I'm scrolling up and I was like, there's the anti-Semitism. There it is. I was like, I knew it had to be somewhere.
Waiting for it. And here it is.
It's been so long without it, and I was starting to be happy again.
Oh, right. Yeah. I was like, oh, man. Yeah. So that's Charles J. Guiteau. That's
and that therefore ends Ryan's ridiculous history.
There we go. And now we're moving on to Dan's LGBT-Qs for the straights.
Yay! My LGBTQ for this week is.
Did you just almost call us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. Anyway, my question for this week is: have you in your life ever wished you were gay? And what situation was that in?
Most breakups.
I don't think so. No. But like I've also never wished that I was never just like super happy that I'm straight. It's just like a thing.
Just kind of acceptance of what we are, I think is Like on a total like truthful answer, like Never. Actually, I had a conversation with this about actually very recently with a friend of mine who is gay. His name actually is Daniel. Sorry, it's not you, Dan. But we were talking about this, and it was just like it was one of those things where it was like he was disappointed with love life with men, and I was disappointed with my love life with women. We were just like, you know what? Maybe it's not a gay straight thing. Maybe just love can be terrible sometimes. Like maybe it's just like across the board.
As Tom Segura once said, some people suck.
Yeah, right. I will say this. The only time that I can actually think of like a genuine thought is like I got my first relationship ended. I got stalked by her afterwards. And I thought, you know, like if I like if she was a guy, people would take that a lot more seriously than me being like, yeah, I'm getting stalked by someone who's 5'1". Like no one takes that seriously. You know what I mean? Like
I have pretended to be gay twice to help. I get not really help, but just like there were two women that I was seeing, and one of them I went to Disney with, and apparently she was like there was a boy that worked at Disney that was like in love with her, and he would not give her like he was working that day. He would not give us free tickets because he didn't want her hanging out with other dudes. So I was just like yeah, hey, I like, you know, you're pretty cute. When do you get off? And he was just like, oh. And then he went to get us like 12 fast passes for these rides.
Oh my god!
Because he was like, yeah, I'm not worried anymore. And then there was another one where I actually was like on a date with someone, and then she got a FaceTime call from her boyfriend, and I was like, from your who? And so she was like, listen, like I get if you don't want to see me ever again, but like, please don't do this. And so I was just like, yep, hey, I'm her gay best friend. Yay.
Wow.
That just speaks to how douchey men are, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, hold on. Back that one up. Like, definitely douchey on the first one. That second one's definitely a girl cheating.
Oh, yeah, no. She was for sure in the fault in that.
I was like, hold on. I was like, yeah, the first one, I was like, the second one is not a guy's fault.
I support women entirely, Ryan. So
regardless, yeah. Oh my gosh! Wow, that is super messed up. That she got a FaceTime call from her. Wow.
And I was like, just call him back later.
I want us to talk about because I actually sat down with some of the guys recently and had to talk about this. This was the question posed, and I want us to do this in a later episode, which is, what is the most messed up thing someone you're in a relationship has said to you? And the answers were wild.
I'd have to really think about that because I don't really know.
I mean, I haven't had like meaningful relationships.
Yeah, same.
It's been a year of that, but I have stuff, so.
Perfect. Yeah, at some point, I just feel like that's, yeah.
I think that's it. Like, we don't.
That's it.
We don't say like I wish I was.
Yeah, no, I just am me, and that's my thing. Like I just kind of accepted where I'm at. Yeah.
Cool. Great. That's my LGBT-Q for the straights.
For the straights.
Yay!
Yay! Wonderful.
And now back to Ben's breaking news.
Now we're gonna be sad again. Okay, let's see if I can make any of these headlines funny. Prince Philip died this week.
Clapping, no.
Yeah, well, no, it's good news. It's good news, Ryan, because it just means that we've slowed COVID just enough that the Grim Reaper is finally able to catch up on the deaths he hasn't had time for yet. It's a little outdated on that one. In a recent interview, someone asked the Queen if it would be an open casket funeral, and she just replied with, "He's been an open casket for 2 decades."
Oh my god.
By the way, that's not a real quote. That is the joke that I wrote about it. But boy, would that be hilarious if she had that.
Oh my gosh.
That's just like she's tweeting. He's been an open casket for 2 decades. We're burning him.
That's how he'd want it. A nice roast on the way out. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh man. Okay. Up next. Would you guys have any thoughts about that before I just move on?
No.
Okay.
Nah.
Moving on. We have Johnson & Johnson pulled their vaccine because 6 out of 7... By the way, 6. That individual 6 out of 7 million people developed blood clots, which by the way, is a really good reminder, in case you've forgotten, that correlation always equals causation. It's just really funny to me because we're about to see like the same people that spent the entire first half of the pandemic saying things like it's only a 3% mortality rate are now about to spend like the second half of the pandemic going, I don't know, a 0.0000008% chance of blood clots is just too high for me. That's dangerous.
What's also making me laugh, though, is in the reverse, not for America, but with like countries with the AstraZeneca thing that are like, look, we can't lose anyone to go. No one should die because of COVID. It's like, yeah, we'll try our best. But at the same time, and then they're like, but, you know, AstraZeneca might be causing some problems. But hit it.
I know it's only 6 people too, but I do kind of wonder what's in it that's making blood clot. Do you know what I mean?
So actually, if it's 6 people out of 7 million, that actually is even under the normal statistical amount for that age group of people which is normal. So, but I will say this, the interesting part about it is it's only been found in women. All 6 were women from 18 to 40, meaning that it might be, they're seeing that it might be a hormonal link actually that might be causing it. So for women, you could be a little more concerned, but
your body
for
hates
dudes,
you.
By a little bit more concerned, you should increase your concern level by 0.00008%.
Yeah. That's the only fair amount to be concerned more of.
And also, you can't even be concerned anymore because Johnson & Johnson's gone. And personally, I feel like Johnson & Johnson was just tired of people making fun of them online for being the worst vaccine. And they were just like, literally anything, please.
We gave you baby shampoo and this is the respect we get.
The first Johnson was like, we got to pull it. And the second Johnson was like, well, it causes blood clots in a slower rate than regular blood clots happen. And they're like, yeah, run it.
Run the story. Yeah, they're the one publishing the story. They're leaking it themselves.
In the next headline, STDs hit an all-time high in the U.S. once again.
Yeah.
How? We can't go outside. How'd that happen? I don't know.
Well, that's the problem, Ryan. Is we're not going outside. And
inside.
In other news that I'm sure is completely unrelated, the Jimmy Buffett cover band that plays every night at the Villages in Florida has started playing again. So, no correlation there. Moving next headline: Bachelor contestant Colton Underwood comes out as gay. Personally, I think it's in hopes that this time women will want to talk to him. It's interesting though that Colton is now the second man to come out as gay after competing in a dating show. Do you feel threatened by that, Dan, being the first?
No, I think that the only reason that he got all the publicity, though, is just because, you know, I am a gay white male, but he's a good-looking gay white male, and so that's a little bit why it's threatening.
And you're
that's where it's like,
and you're still African.
Yeah, I still got that going for me. Yeah,
and so he's more of like the, you know, red hat wearing white.
Yeah. Well, that's the most controversial part about it. He also follows Candace Owens, Dan Crenshaw, and at that point, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm like, okay, at least I know I'm like the right kind of gay, you know.
Yeah, he's being. I'm not gonna make jokes. People are gonna get mad at me.
That's what makes me laugh the most about the gay community. Is it's just like, wait, hold on, are you the wrong type of gay? Like that's just like,
yes,
we're super inclusive until you're the wrong version. Wait, hold on.
Wait, can't we just add another letter? No, we can't. It's closed. Sorry.
Wonderful.
China has warned the U.S. to stop, quote, playing with fire on Taiwan. They said this while holding a lit match over Taiwan. And the California governor, Gavin Newsom, was quoted as saying, can we just stop playing with fire altogether? Please?
No more forest fires, thank you. My favorite part is that China just flew a huge like sortie mission over Taiwan, which is obviously a clear sign of a threat. And they're like, the U.S. better stop defending Taiwan, while literally all of China's arsenal is just landing craft to hit Taiwan with. So it's like, you guys are on fire. We're just playing. Like,
it's like Dan eating cereal and milk, and he's like, "Can you guys stop? Can you guys stop making fun of lactose intolerant people, please?"
Right? It's exactly that.
Dan's just eating a bowl full. It's just milk. He's spooning 1% milk into his mouth and going, "Wow, you guys are so bad with alcohol. Ugh, you bunch of drunks. Ugh."
I love it.
Biden is proposing meeting Putin, quote, in a third country, end quote, amid Ukraine tensions, which confuses Americans because they're just now finding out there is, in fact, a third country.
My favorite part is about that whole thing is like, first off, like, what country do you want to meet Putin? Because he keeps doing, like, there was just an ex-Russian Pat that was just strangled to death in his apartment in London, which is just proof that, like, they'll assassinate anyone anywhere. Yeah. So I don't know where you go with that.
I feel like this is just a recurring answer from Joe Biden when he doesn't have the correct answer. It's just like, they asked him once, like, how many genders are there? And he goes, at least 3. And just kept going, and they're like, Joe, how many countries are there? At least 3, and just keeps on moving, and we're gonna meet in the third one.
Well, because when he starts going too high numbers, what was the number he said about, like, he wanted to put 600 million American women back to work? There's 330 people in the country. Like, I mean, that was a thing. Like, if he gets more than 3, it's too many. So he's like, I'll just hang out here. Like, that's a good.
Last one for the day. BBC is reporting there's a new report that shows the world's wealthiest are at the heart of the climate problem. In other news, the ocean is big. You guys know that? Because the ocean's pretty vast, actually. I've been in it.
Pretty up there. I love everything about that because that's just like, I think they made it like they run the companies that do it because it's like a lot of corporate dumping is like a lot of the. Also, it makes me laugh that everyone's like, Americans are the worst. It's like the top 10 most polluted like rivers that lead to the ocean problems are not in America. Like they're not like literally none of the top 10 are in even any of the Americas.
Don't get me wrong. We're trying.
What I'm trying to say is one day we might be number 1, but not yet.
We're number 4, I think. And that is
it's like 7 of them are in China, and it's like pot kettle. Really? Like, is this what we're doing right now? Like,
and that is the end of Ben's breaking news. Moving on, we have our audience submissions. So if you asked us a question via email or otherwise, here's where it goes.
I love this first one. I love this so much. So this sounds like it was very much triggered towards Ben, which is, if you could be the king of Florida, what would your first law be? That was sent in by Xander. Ben, you got to start the answer for this one. If you were the king of Florida, what would your first
for
one?
Everyone. I'm going to bring up the George Bush. We're going to give kids nuclear alligators. Every kid in Florida is going to get nuclear alligators. So
nuclear gators. Oh my gosh, I love that. Dan, what if you were the king of Florida?
Oh, if I was the king of Florida, my first law would be, get rid of the Miami gays.
What? What?
If you've met Miami gays, you know why I don't like.
I'm not allowed to comment.
Oh my gosh.
Not allowed to comment.
Fun. I
Man.
love gay people and Miami, but no.
Just not together.
Not together, not as a unity.
Ryan?
What about you, Ryan?
Oh man, my really dark first thought is just like, I just want to make sunscreen illegal to try to take out as many Florida men as we possibly can. Like, I mean, that's just
you, honest to God, think Florida men wear sunscreen?
But I don't think they wear sunscreen.
That
so
would
it's
not stop us.
Honestly, I'd just reinforce. I'd make it like written into the Constitution that you can't get rid of. I think it's the Sunshine Law that allows for us to be able to hear all the stories about Florida Man.
Yeah.
That's what I would just cement that harder. Yeah. Like that is never going away. Oh.
Great, awesome. We got a question from Anne. Anne says, "Hi guys, really enjoying the podcast. I have two general questions for all three of you. First, in the course of writing, I realize that you draw on your own life experiences to create content, but do you ever embellish the truth or outright lie to make a joke more funny? Why or why not?" Second,
I think we can stop there and just answer that question, then go back into the second one.
Okay.
So, yeah. Life doesn't usually end in the perfect punchline all the time. So, yeah, you have to... I, for sure, like, most of my stories that I tell... Oh, I guess all of my life stories that I tell are based off of things that actually happened to me. But, like, if you've heard me do my airport bit, I obviously did not start shoving children out of the way while trying to get to the airplane in time. But, like, I did full sprint through Chicago O'Hare. I got on the plane. The woman next to me did ask me why I was sweating. Like, a lot of those things are 100% true. But no, I didn't shoulder check an old lady for the adrenaline.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes like you can't take everything quite so literally. I agree with Ben. Like every one of my stories has been like a real life thing. For instance, the plane crash story for me, there is only one part that is different from what actually happened. And also we're making it funnier because I could go into the dark side of it, which is it was very dark. But like the only thing that changes about that is oxygen masks didn't drop on that plane like crash. It was on a different flight that I was on that oxygen masks did deploy. So it's really just taking horrible plane experiences that I've had and like fusing them together. But most of it's for me. Yeah, most of it's 100% true. Yeah. But of course, if we're saying things like kind of ridiculous, like, but I think you know that that's the joke part of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not meant to be part of the story. So yeah, Dan, what about you?
I think we just season a story. You know, add a little spice to it. A little bit of spice. Let it taste a little bit better because that's honestly what you need. Is you just need a little salt bay.
Little salt bay.
And that's the whole job of a comedian is to take real life situations and make them funny or make them relatable. And so, yes, I'd also say that we are story-based comedians. Like I've definitely heard of comedians lying before, but I think for all three of us, we are based in story. So, yeah, I think it's perfectly fine to add a little bit of something to a story.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yes,
a little zhuzh.
She then followed up the question with second, in the podcast on 410, you all reacted strongly to the idea of allowing the fear to make you funny. Can you expand on that or give an example of a situation where that quick thinking paid off? Thanks so much.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure I was the one that said that. So the idea behind it is just that when you get up on stage in front of a bunch of people with the goal to be funny, if you're ever up there and people aren't laughing, there is a fear and anxiety that does enter your body. And because of the previous knowledge of comedy, because of all your training up to this point, you're sometimes able to just off the dome spit out something funny.
Yep.
But that's only because the fear made you do it.
Yep.
Essentially, sometimes what I take from that is essentially there's sometimes that panic that like you just start reaching for things and your mind starts going faster. It's really an adrenaline thing and your mind does start going faster. And so you find something that you're like, oh, I've never thought of it this way before. You pull it and it works and it's good.
Absolutely. And I can't think of anything off the top of my head based off like an example of it, but I know for a fact I have a few tags in some of my jokes now that happened because of that fear. I said something in the moment and then and people laughed and I was like, I guess I'm just going to keep saying that.
Well, I guess the best example, honestly, that I can think of, I've seen the least funniest people go to open mics and the joke that they always make up on the spot is always the funniest. Yeah. So it's always like very clearly, I don't know, just go to an open mic and you can definitely see the fear. You can see when fear motivates someone to
do you want to see fear? Do you want to see real fear?
You want to see the real fear?
Do you want to see some real fear? I'll show you some real fear. Mushi Maids says, do you like musical theater? And if so, favorite show or shows? ?
Oh.
Yes. I like Rock of Ages. That's one of my favorites in Jersey Boys. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Dan?
I'll be honest, and I think this was the moment I realized I was gay. I watched Hairspray, the movie, and I fell in love, bro. I was like, this is incredible. But yeah, I have a lot of favorites, but I'd say that was probably the first time I ever like fell in love with like a show.
Okay. I enjoy them, but I don't seek them out. Like, I've never sat down with, like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this today. And dated a theater girl in high school that made me watch a bunch of stuff, and I was just like, yeah, some of these are good. But, like, I was never really enthralled by any of them.
Okay. Yeah. Dope.
Ryan, you're up next.
Ryan, you wanna...
Oh, yep. Val asks, why is Ben obsessed with the sister from that band? I'm glad that we got back to this. I think that's important. Also, I hope you're having a good day. Well, I'm having a better day now. You know what? Let's talk about
her name
Sarah Lawrence.
Her name is Gracie Lawrence.
Gracie.
And she is perfect.
Has she found out yet?
No.
Do we know?
No. Don't worry about it. Look, it'll one day, maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to need a smash cut of all of Ben talking about Gracie Lawrence. I'm going to post it to my TikTok and track her.
Episode now.
Oh, God.
Right?
I know. Look, her voice is immaculate. It, like...
Does it make your heart pitter-patter? It sounds like it makes your heart pitter-patter.
Look, I'm going to say something that might be a little bit embarrassing, but I watched one of her TikToks, and she was, like, crowd surfing while singing. And she, like, let out a giggle, like someone, like, dropped her briefly, and she giggled, and I was just like, yep, okay, I'm melting now.
So it's like a cute love. That's so sweet.
What other love did you think it was, Ryan?
Look, I hang out with Beer Bong John a lot.
Fair
There's
enough.
other types of love.
She has a beautiful singing voice, and...
I want her to be our next guest. I'll reach out.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's get it,
Maury. Let's get some Maury.
I'm gonna be sick that episode. I am going to be absent. I'll be out of town.
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Speaking of love interests, if you could visit a different dimension, would you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I basically live in one already in Florida.
What kind of dimension, though? I like. What would be your ideal dimension to visit?
I'd visit the one where Ben is dating and getting ready to marry Gracie Lawrence.
I would too. I would do that, and then I would commit murder, and I would never come back to this dimension.
Wait, would you kill myself. Yeah, you'd kill the
kill my other self. Yeah, I would kill alternate me.
I think all of us are like.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't kill her.
A random civilian.
Oh no! I would kill other Ben, and I would take his place.
Great, wonderful.
I'd want to see, like, I definitely travel. Like, I don't think that it's like scheduled. Like, you could see like which type of dimensions, but I'd like to go see like I want to see where the best version of me is. And I'd like to see where the worst version, which is probably dead, the worst version, to be honest, but like the alive version of the worst version of me, like
let's be honest though, the worst version of you is probably like ruling somewhere. The worst version of me, absolutely in charge of a lot of people. Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually probably true. Yeah.
I was like a poli-sci major who graduated from BYU, is closeted gay, and is like, has a wife and children in suburbia right now, and it's like influential everywhere.
I genuinely think like the best version of me is somewhere else right now leading a coup. But in America, not like a foreign coup. I would be leading a local coup and it would work. That would be the best version. The worst version of me is like, yeah, we have a cult now.
You don't want to go to the dimension where you didn't get gassed in a toilet? Is that like...
It's all the same, but you just didn't have to poop that day.
Every single dimension has that, Dan.
Constants and variables, if you will.
All right. Do you guys believe in aliens?
Yes.
Yes.
Here, I'm gonna go with I'm not sure, but I hedge my bets towards depends on what you call aliens. Little green men, nah. But the idea that aliens could exist being like,
extraterrestrial
kind of like
life forms.
See, if that, like, I could see bacteria and things like that being out there, but like based on like what we know about theories thus far, as far as like the creation of the universe, we're pretty close to the center. So I don't think that there's anything more advanced than us right now. Now, could there be? Maybe, but yeah, I just don't think. I think as far as like humans, we're probably alone.
Okay, I believe in aliens because I feel like it'd be more boring if I didn't.
Yeah.
Life is just like a little bit more fun if you believe in stuff.
Yep.
No, that's fair.
That's our other dimensions.
Ryan?
Oh, yep. Sorry. Do you play? What's your favorite conspiracy theory? I keep forgetting that it's me.
The good is not good today.
No, the good is not good.
This might be the worst version of you.
I'm actually fairly certain it is. What's your favorite conspiracy theory? We've kind of already had this one. We had like if you could create one. Yeah. What's your favorite?
Avril Lavigne.
That's such a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. Avril Lavigne.
I like Avril
Mine
Lavigne.
is that the real Paul McCartney actually died in 1967, and they replaced him with a lookalike that they gave a bunch of plastic surgery to, and that's the one that's currently alive now.
I like when like a musician just starts sucking. People are just like, they killed him. They got rid of them.
Well, there's a whole documentary about it. It's wild. I love it.
I'd actually do the same thing, replacement theory, but mine's with Kim Jong-un. I hope that's not the real Kim Jong-un. Wouldn't it be funny that it's just a guy, like just a random North Korean who's like, I guess I'm in charge now. Like, I mean, this way.
You look the most like him. Come on up, buddy.
Yeah, get on up here. Yeah.
We'll make him fat so he can't be distinguished. Oh, fun. Do you play Cold War?
A little.
No, I don't really play video games.
I play mostly Modern Warfare. Yeah.
No. I played Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
If you could have ketchup and barbecue.
Sorry, ketchup or barbecue for the rest of your life, only one. What would it be?
Yeah, you didn't write most of that question.
I know, I didn't. I'm bad at. I'm
going to read directly what you wrote. If you could have ketchup or barbecue. So Dan, if you could have ketchup or barbecue, which would you could have? If you could have could.
things as notes to myself.
I wish I could.
If you could have could.
I would have probably barbecue.
Oh,
could barbecue sounds better than could ketchup.
Yeah, I could ketchup, but it can't. You know what I'm saying? So could barbecue for sure.
Yeah, could
Ryan,
barbecue.
Could ketchup, could barbecue.
I do good ketchup.
Could ketchup. Okay.
Oh. Ryan.
Yeah.
What's your question next, buddy? We're doing a whole circle thing.
I know, but I was trying to fix them for the next time because I kept writing terrible versions. What job as a kid did you want as an adult? I wanted to be a paleontologist, and instead I'm getting told I'm dumb on a podcast, which is accurate. So it worked out.
I wanted to be an architect, and then I wanted to be an engineer.
I wanted to do cartoons. I love cartoons. I was going to animate shows.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay, I'm going to do this while Ryan types. If you could cure a disease in the world, what would it be?
Florida.
I was talking about this earlier. I would definitely cure cancer because people are kind of dumb and I think that all cancer is the same thing. But if we're just curing a word, then I'm going with cancer because it's like the most popular. But like it just made me laugh because it's like you cured cancer. Which one? Because they're not related much at all. So
Bilharzia, because I had that as a kid and I peed blood. It was wild.
Dude, how much blood has come out of your orifices? What is going on?
Was it a hectic amount or was it just super normal?
That was a hectic amount of blood.
Well, moving on. Is a hot dog a sandwich? 1, 2, 3, no.
No.
Yes.
What? Dan, I'm kicking you off the podcast.
I don't know. You put a hamburger in between a bun and it's a sandwich, right?
No, it's a hamburger.
No.
That's why you call it a hamburger.
Americans, y'all are getting too technical. It's bread.
No. It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
A hot dog is a hot dog.
You don't have a what?
Yes.
Would you call a hero a sandwich?
A sub.
Well, that's a weird one because that's a folded one slice of bread. I'm talking two slices of bread.
That's a hoagie.
It's a folded one slice of bread, like say a hot dog. Oh.
No, a hot dog is split.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
but it's connected. Yeah.
But also,
Science, baby.
you do say a sub sandwich. It's a hero sandwich. It's a sub. The only one you don't say sandwich for is hoagie. You say roll.
Roll. Yeah. I guess
Are you talking about a euro, like the Greek?
Yeah, the Greek like.
I thought you meant a hero like sandwich, a hero sub sandwich,
No,
like the really long sandwich. They call it a
No.
hero. No, okay.
No.
Wow, very Florida of you to.
It's then we don't call them heroes down here. We call them subs. We call them pub subs specifically.
Pub
But
subs.
it is a sandwich. A
Interesting.
euro is not. It's a euro. If you're gonna call it anything, you're gonna call it a Greek taco.
What?
A
That is-
Because that's what it is.
Also, guys, we've said hero too much, and now I just hear Bonnie Tyler's "I'm holding out for a hero in the end of the night." Like, that's all that's in my head right now.
Okay, that's more of an accurate question. Is a hot dog a taco?
No.
No.
But you define a euro.
I
as
said
a...
if you were gonna call it anything, I would
That's
still
what
call
Florida
you
people
wrong.
do.
Okay.
Ignore them. They don't do like that. Yeah.
Okay. Which pirate crew? Which pirate crew? Which one would you be a part of?
Dang it!
Thanks,
so
Ryan.
tired of writing things wrong. If you could be part of any historical pirate crew, who would you be a part of?
Whichever pirate crew buried the treasure on Oak Island.
Oh my gosh! Talk about conspiracy theories.
Yep.
What's Oak Island? I don't know. What you
Ooh,
guys
Dan. Ooh.
Oh, this might have
Ryan,
to
can
be
this be
a
a
history.
ridiculous history?
Yep, that's what that's gonna be. Yeah,
Nice. Love
Oak
Oak
Island.
Island. They made a whole TV show about it.
they did.
I don't know enough about pirates, but the guys from Pirates of the Caribbean seem pretty cool.
Which pirates, though? Which ones? The white people, Jack Sparrow,
I'm
or
trying
the
to decide
dead
between
guys?
the Black Pearl or Davy Jones. I feel like I want to be part of Davy Jones one.
Okay,
That'd be real fun.
sure. Ryan?
A shark face.
If I had to pick one, like, man, there were some cool pirates. I like Anne Bonny had a very cool like pirate history, and that was awesome.
For sure. Yeah.
Right?
I love and Bonnie. Who? I don't.
Anne Bonny was she was a pirate that ended up like pretending to be a man, and then she pretty much captained her own ship under a guy that she just pretty much like used to be like, you're the fake captain because I'm a lady.
She's the man of piracy.
That's really what it was. Yeah. Now Amanda Bynes is gonna play Anne Bonny. It's gonna be crazy.
I would love that actually, though.
Calico Jack. Honestly, like Captain Kidd or Henry Morgan, Bartholomew Roberts was actually kind of a tool. But yeah.
You know about 8 more names than you should.
Yeah, that's what I think. Any of those, just a famous one that's having fun.
Just a fun, famous pirate. Okay.
Yeah.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel for heroes, DC for villains. I think DC is more of a balanced universe.
Yeah. Are we talking about
No, sorry. I
Other way
think Marvel's
around?
more of a balance. Yeah, Marvel's more of a balanced universe. But I do like DC villains better than Marvel villains.
Okay. I was going to say Marvel for movies, DC for TV
Comics?
shows.
Dude, DC for animated movies.
Animated TV
Dude,
shows.
animated.
They're so good. Oh,
Everything.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say DC for creativity in general, right? Like they definitely push the bounds. They're not very successful with it, but they know how to test product out.
they try. If you could live in any time period, where would you live?
One of the future ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't want to go back to the past. I like comfy.
Things are objectively better for everyone right now.
Yep.
You guys, there was a time period on Earth, like as humans, where 1 in every 10 humans was killed by murder. Like that's just a statistical. Like I don't want to go back then. I don't because I'm pretty sure I'm easily killable. Like it's a lot. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
So this one, here's the thing. Let me read this one.
If you could be any mythical creature or have one in a pet.
Yeah, no, Ryan, you're going to have to.
If you could be any mythical creature or have one as a pet, I just... Dang it!
Which one?
I'd want Pokemon. I'd want to have a Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay, specifically which Pokemon? Mudkip.
Well, you know, I'd like this powerhouse combination because I need that grass balance for my team. But a Rowlet and a Mudkip would be great. Yeah, Ben, you?
If we're doing Pokemon strictly, I'd have to go Totodile.
Mm-hmm.
But if any mythical creature I'd like to have as a pet, I want Mothman. Absolutely, I'd want Mothman as a pet, and I would treat him so kindly. And he would just look at me in the face with those giant glowing red eyes.
That's going to be a history.
And every night I would say, "I love you, Mothman," and he would say, "Rah!"
And then a disaster would befall a bridge, you know, as it does.
I would go with the Tokolosh. It's African folklore. And the main reason I would want a Tokolosh as a pet is mainly just because I got told like 80 different stories about how it looks and behaves. And so I would just like one just so that I knew what it looked like.
Oh, just get one like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, yeah.
This is what a Tokolosh is.
You can go now.
I figured it out, yeah.
Final death row meal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm getting lava crunch cakes from Domino's. I'm getting a ton of ice cream. I'm eating straight egg whites. I am going to ruin whoever has to clean up the disaster that is me afterwards. Like that's, okay. I'm just ruining somebody's day on the way out. That's really what I want.
Stan?
I would want my mom's oxtail stew. I want sadza.
Okay.
I want peanut butter M&Ms. And I want 3 whole cheesecakes. Only fruit variety, not chocolate. Because gross.
Yeah, so Dan's also going to ruin his way out.
Dan has thought about this.
I know I'm going to commit a crime someday. I have to be prepared for whatever.
My final meal on death row would be just any piece of incriminating evidence and all copies of it. I would also like a phone on the plate so I could call a lawyer. And then just like the world's longest spaghetti noodle that I will be taking my time to eat until the lawyer gets there.
That's such a powerhouse tactical move. I respect that so much.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Because they'd be like, you're dying now. And I'd be like,
what evidence?
With what evidence? And they'd be like, but you just ate. And then I just like, did I?
I also love the image of like the evidence being a gun and Ben being like, ah!
You gotta take it apart in smaller pieces.
I mean, yeah, but still, you're still left with like the grip and the like.
You can break it.
They're like, look at the evidence. People generally poop themselves when they go through the the electric chair.
I'm hoping there's just some cloth or paper that they caught me on. I don't know. They never found the gun, but they got like all of this cloth. I don't know. I could eat that.
Next question: are we ever going to be at the table with Ben? I don't know if we can.
Would you guys even want to be at my table?
Didn't you?
Absolutely. As Missouri? Yes,
definitely. Well, didn't you like once message me about bringing the House of Vibes onto the table?
Yeah, so I messaged you once about doing a vibe check on Florida.
That's right. Ooh. Oh my gosh.
And then no matter what negative
drugs,
and no matter what negative things you said about Florida was like, those are positives.
Those are all good things.
Yeah, you would like call him in and be like, welcome to the House of Vibes for your vibe check. And then Florida would be like, what's a vibe?
What's a vibe?
And they're like, you have not passed the vibe check. And Florida was like, I don't pass a lot of checks, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is not new.
I actually bounce most of my checks. Like that's.
Could you make a new holiday?
But absolutely.
Yeah, we could all make a new
With
holiday.
the following that we have right now, 8 million people listen to this podcast. We could for sure invent something.
Yeah.
Dude, we could.
Let's do it. Let's make a new holiday.
I want a Squishmallow based holiday. I just want it to be soft and wonderful and everybody smiles.
I'm gonna reject this. But if we could do something better, yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
We should create a holiday in which Ryan and Ben are the gods of the holiday. You're the Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny of it.
Is being straight and white and man not enough for us?
Also, Dan, is that what Mormonism is? Did I miss something where Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny are the gods of it?
No, but in Africa it kind of is. No.
I'd like to do one on July 5th. It's National Grievance Day. I'd like to do that. So we celebrate Independence Day, July 4th. Yay, America. July 5th, we all publicly air our grievances with the state, with the governments that we currently live in.
We do that weird, the cult.
Yeah,
the cult
we
roast.
bully our politicians on July 5th.
Politicians.
Have I told you guys? I think that like not a holiday, but a thing that we should implement is like every year you're allowed to hit someone with your car one time just to wound, not to kill. But I think it would really get a message across of like if you're being like just a total worst person ever and you get hit by a car, you're like, oh man, someone used their one car hit.
You just want the purge, but with cars.
With cars, and no one dies. It's just kind of like you know what?
You're a douche.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know how nice that would be? Oh,
the planning that goes into hitting somebody with your car, but only to hurt them.
Schedule.
I think it would really actually like put people into perspective where like you're flying through the air, you've just been struck by a car, and you're like, man, you know what? They took a lot of time out of their day. I must be a really bad guy. Like maybe they changed their ways. I don't know.
I think you would just hate that person.
Better hit him twice then. The second hit though, you go to prison.
Absolutely. So which Avenger would you want to be your roommate?
Chris Evans.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah.
No.
For sure.
Which
For sure.
character?
No. He's right. And that's the podcast. So
that is it. That's it. That's the podcast. That's the best ending.
Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 7 of The Good, the Day, and the Florida Man. We've been here and you've been there. So thank you all. If you want to catch us specifically, Ryan, where can they find you?
Youthpastorryan.com. Just go click on that. It's got a link to everything that you need from me.
And I'm Daniel. And Dan Bam Bam on all social media platforms except for Snapchat, which is at Daniel_YOLO Love. Ben.
You can find me at benbrainard.com. That's a full list of everything you need right there. And you can contact the podcast at gdfmpodcast.com, or you can email us at podcast@gdfmpodcast.com. We love you. We thank you. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for being here. Bye.